Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat Kpa, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon.
Hello and welcome to the program Spoon Talk, fellow Liberians. And my name is Byron. I'll be here tonight. And your most watched program, invite somebody, let somebody invite somebody right now. Let me say good evening to you, Dr. Richardson.
Byron, how are you doing today?
I'm okay. Tell God thank you for life, and I hope all is well with you.
Yes, I'm telling God thank you too. I'm up this morning. I'm here. It's a brand new day. So it's good to be here. I want to join you in welcoming Liberians and passionate lovers of Liberian to Spoon Talk. We're going to have a really, really spirited conversation today. So what's going on?
Well, there are so many things happening in the country. Many things are trending. So today, the political leader of the Unity Party, Ambassador Joseph Nyuma Bwaka, he visited the Monrovia South Beach, where he paid a visit to Justice Gloria Musu Scott. He visited her today. And there were many Unity Party supporters who were there. And it was a great scene. And his words, he went there to pay homage or to pay that solidarity to the former justice minister. On the flip side of this, the son of the president, Mr. George Weah, his son Timothy Weah, is in the country. He arrived yesterday, and he was gowned by this woman, the peace ambassador, Julie Andy, cultural ambassador, and he was gowned by her. And on the flip side of it today, they arranged a football match where people bought a ticket for the young man to go and showcase his talent. Mind you now, a few weeks ago, he signed a deal with Juventus. And he's in Liberia, but the disappointing part of it is that he didn't show up. He didn't play after people went and paid their money to watch him. And the controversial, issue here is, why is it that Timothy Weah didn't play? At least he should have used just 5 minutes of his time, just to play. So some people see his action as being disrespectful to Liberians. So that's why trending right now in the country, the son of the president, he disrespected Liberians today. by not playing Timothy
So
Weah.
let me make sure I understand you correctly, Chairman Barron. So it was arranged for him to go and play today. Liberians were anticipating his presence, his showcasing his talents, and he didn't show up. Is that what happened?
Yeah, he was there. He's in the country. The people bought a ticket. He went there with his family members. They were there at the SKD, the ATS, sorry, at the ATS, and the SKD, and they have anticipated for him to just play for 5 minutes. But the information is that he just signed his contract. Millions and millions of dollars. So playing, there's a possibility he was sustained. In the process. So he didn't even get on the playing pitch. So this is where we are. It is now trending, or on the social media. Some of the local media institutions are carrying it as well, where they are branding or the slander the president's son action has been disrespectful to the people of Liberia.
Well, it remains to be reviewed if he was scheduled to play, if it was arranged for him to play. So I think there's some further study of this issue should be done. I don't know. I think it's a good thing that he's in Liberia. I think he's highlighting Liberia by being on their international team. I like that. When they mention him playing, they're going to hopefully mention Liberia, even though I don't know if he was born in Liberia or not, but I think even if they mention his parents are Liberian, that's good enough for Liberia too.
Yeah,
well, we'll see what Liberians are.
No, he's an American citizen. I'm not getting your line is breaking up.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm just saying that, even though he is an American citizen, but I believe that maybe somewhere down the line when he's playing, somebody will mention that his parents are from Liberia, well, his father is from Liberia, so that at least give us a little bit of notoriety. So yeah, but I understand how if Liberians are feeling disappointed because he didn't play. I'm sorry. Yeah. So how business going?
Well, the business is okay, and another news is that President George Weah is in Israel, and where he received one of the prestigious awards, from the Israeli government. And what's the name of the award today? The Zion. It is an internationally noted prestigious award, and that was bestowed on him today. The president. He's currently in Israel with some of his government officials and confidants. Snow and the rest of the people, the deputy speaker, his confidants, they are on that identical trip. And the president, he received an award today in Israel.
Yeah, I did see that, Chairman Byron. And I read about the award. Reportedly, is an award that is given to persons who support the Jewish state and also support Jewish people. So reportedly, our president, has been very supportive of the Jewish state and Jewish people. And the president of Israel felt that he deserved that award. I think someone like Mike Pence, who's just the former vice president, and others, I think, I'm thinking George Bush also were recipients of that award as well. So, that's is when it comes to Israel, there's so much politics, there's a lot of politics. So your support for the Jewish state, okay? So that's it. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, so far so good. The ATS saga, that's the biggest of all. In the country, it is trending right now. In the country, and the president's trip. So far so good for my end.
That's good. Well, you get to hear things on Spoon that you wouldn't hear anywhere else. This is my first time. I've been like looking on social media and reading. So this is my first time hearing that Tim Weah was in the country and all of the issues that are surrounding his visit. So You're here, yeah, at Spoon. That's what we are here for, to provide information to you. So you know that there are panelists that join us. They will be joining us as they come in. I also want to let you know that today we have a guest speaker. She's going to be talking to us about various issues. Our speaker today is Grace Tee Kpa. She is here representing the Liberian National Union, NINU. Chris, Miss Pa is the vice standard bearer to Dr. Moniba. So she will come here and tell us about, her life experience as a public servant. There was when she was superintendent of Monserrato County, there was a controversy that we all knew about. She would probably expand on that as well, and basically talk about her, role, her new role now as the vice standard bearer of Ninu. Uh, so we'll be asking her questions as well. I'm sure she's prepared to answer. So I want you to help me welcome Miss Fan when she comes in. She's not coming now, but I just want you,
Yeah.
when she comes in, I'm going to bring in uh, Mr. DB in. I believe he's in the back already. I'll bring him in. I'm going to just take some
Yes,
time to.
he's already in the building. He's here.
Yes, and I'm going to welcome some of our guests as well. Oops, what happened, Mr. DB? Oop! Every time
Okay.
I know playing magic or whatever, I push. Every time I push the screen to bring you on, and then it goes off. How are you doing today?
We give God the glory for life.
Amen.
We are good. We are doing very well and preparing ourselves for the obvious, the Liberian election for October come
Mm.
2022 October. Well, how you doing too? How's your family?
Everybody's well. My husband's still at work, children at home. They're on the summer break. They kind of blessed me by cleaning up the house today. I came downstairs and saw them doing the dishes and washing the floor and all of that stuff. So I don't
Mhm.
have to tell them to go and do it. They did it on their own. So that's a good thing. So how was your first night on Spoon?
I think it was good. But I just have maybe one or two reservations to make. But I think just going back to the family.
Oh, the DB, I can't, Mr. DB, I can't hear you. Johnny, I can hear you. I cannot hear you. I can't hear you too. Don't let him come. Yeah, can you please put the mic on for Mr. DB?
Are you hearing now?
Now I can hear you. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, good.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm just saying, just going back to the family discussion. I think I know your husband, Mr. A.B. Richardson, is in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know we used to live next door in Bon Mines.
Really?
Red,
No.
his family, my family were like one family, Mr. Richardson
Okay.
family, and the neighbor family and the Richardson family were just next door, next house.
Oh,
We're in the
yes.
line from
I remember the
from-
Nippon family.
yes, of course.
Okay.
So we have Councillor Morris, Mr.
Yes. My
Aqua, then
cousin.
the neighbor family, then next to us is Mr. Richardson family.
Yeah, I actually last night somebody texted me that you guys were probably classmates or even you live in in the neighborhood. And so when I
Mhm.
left the show, we're talking about other things, so I forgot to ask him. But I'm sure he watches the show, so we'll talk about it. But it's good knowing
Okay.
I have another bone miners here. So for those of you who are listening, I will tell you too, Johnny, that we're going to be having the Bong Education Alumni Association uh, Center convention. We have a convention every year. We've been doing it for at least 20 years now. It's going to be held. My husband and I are hosting it in our South Jersey area. So it starts on Thursday. Thursday is his birthday. I'm celebrating his birthday. And then
Congratulations.
yes, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, people are going to go home. So everybody that I think like I want to call names like the Perkins will be here.
Oh
Uh, the
yes.
Pews, the Pews will be here. Kristen DeShield will be here. Bala Howard, the people that y'all know, will
Mm-hmm.
be here. And I'm sure you know that the great thing about our convention is we are supporting the school in Burmeister. It's not at Sawieta School, so we have a resource center at the school that we've been supporting for 20 years as well. So if you live in the area, Jersey, Philadelphia, Delaware, please come July 13, 14, 15, 16. We'll be here. So thanks for reminding me, Mr. DB, that I wanted to make this announcement. Anyways, let me see. We're gonna just welcome a few of our viewers here today, and I'm going to ask you to help me. You can start by just welcoming 5 persons, and then we'll go ahead and welcome, and then I'll join you. And then hopefully by that time, the other panelists will be here. Can you hear me? Can you welcome five persons? Can you see them on your screen?
Oh yes. Let me welcome Mr. Emmanuel Akwe from Vonjima. See Thompson, Niplin, Milton Colley, Tofik Gale, Romeo Colley, Bono Colley, Farcia Hilton, Alfred, God Favor, Dagose, Pierre Campbell, Tarin, Van Boy, Bavi Roberts, Emmanuel Abu Johnson, Abraham Wonkula, Kinyanta Wia, Maui Fanon, Augustine Mosi,
Mm-hmm.
Vera Freeman,
Mm-hmm.
Joseph K. Joma, D. Emil Saki or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll just kind of take it over from where you well, I'm just going randomly because I don't even know where you stop. But again, I want to welcome God Gloria Foka Mulba. She's always here. Yatu Johansson, Afonso P. Dulos watching from the UAE. George Moore is also watching from Central Morovia. Hans Judah Buchanan Lovington. I'm sure you know Hans Buchanan. Yeah, okay, good. There were another bull miners watching the show. Omen Zizu is here watching from Virginia District. Alex Sania is watching from SD Cooper Road, Peletown, Painesville. Yamutru Kranga is watching from Minnesota. Hi, how are ya? Morris Ziegler is watching from Washington, D.C. Mawo Farmer is also watching. Mawo, hello, how are you? Prince Jokolo is watching from Town, St. Francis. Jefferson Dewey is watching. Uh, Let me just see. Jeanette William is also watching. Samuel K. Doe is watching from Liberia. We got Samuel K. Doe. Abu A. Kane. I'm sorry. Abu A. Kane is watching from Town as well. Let me just Richmond. Richmond is also watching. Jay Wude Pana is watching. Penna. I'm sorry. Let me. I thought I was older, but it's a A. Jay Wude Penna is watching from Des Moines, Iowa. Malvin Prince is also watching us. Let me just see. I want to look at the other device because there's two people coming in here. Kai is also watching from Italy. Spoon Talk is in Italy, my people. So Callison George is watching from Texas. Jonathan Reeves is watching from ELW Road. Clarence Benson is watching from Hamilton, Canada. Let me see. Michael Sampson is watching from Bunk County, Liberia. Usma S. Trawali is watching from Amagashi. I believe that's what you said. I remember the Amagashi Clinic. That's what I named. Is came back to me. Woman S.T. Nuggles is watching from Minnesota. George Lamandine is watching from Citizen Action Movement District number 6. Inca G. Patmel is watching. Tipos PK Dempster. Hi, Tipos. How are you? You're always here. Tamba Briama is always here. I remember you were here yesterday. Tom, we said is here watching from the nuclear from the borough of Newtown. Yvonne Eo, how you doing? It's good to see you. You're always here. Mom Musukula's son is also always here. We got a lot of people who are avid viewers of Spoon who are here. Thank you so much. Bis Bisa Loma is here as well. Kali Moba is here. So we're going to just welcome all of you and tell all of you thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you joining Spoon Talk. This is your show. This is where you come in and just get trending news information. We get to ask questions that you might have wanted to ask but just didn't get a chance to ask. So thank you for joining us. Johnny and I hope you don't mind me calling you by your first name.
No problem, no problem.
So Johnny and I will begin just the conversation. I'm waiting for the other panelists to roll in. Our guest, Madam Pang, is already in the back. As soon as we have other guests roll in, we'll begin to ask her to give a summary and then ask her questions. So as I was asking you, Mr. DB, how, and I'm gonna go back. It's just
You sound like Haramagoan. Found it difficult to pronounce the name in DB, just 5-letter voice.
If you want to know who Haramagon is, so if you're talking a Haramagon story, yeah, or that you see national TV, yeah, I'm gonna learn it. DB, I'll practice it. So just
It's actually in DB. It's actually called DB.
But then why you can't just say your name Nepe instead you making the
It's not
DB?
Nepe, it's DB. It's not Nepe, it's DB.
DB.
Actually, it means catfish in Bandi. It means catfish.
Okay.
That's the meaning of the name, catfish.
Me and Abraham practice tonight. He knows
Abraham knows it very well.
I know he knows it very well. That's why I said we'll practice tonight. So he will tell me. So what's going on with you?
Let me just appreciate the Spoon Show. I think my first appearance yesterday was very, very good. It was a warm welcoming from the host, you and the rest of the team, and the team here in the studio in Liberia. I really appreciated their reception, Madam Titi Kpa and the rest of the guys here. It was very good being with them here. And unfortunately for me, Titi is somebody that I know from years back. We had some interaction before. And I'm just so blessed to be a person that every gathering I go into, not less than 4% knows me. I don't just know why, but if I go in a group of 10, 2-3 persons knows me. For some reason, I don't know, but my family is so small, but we are known by almost everyone in this country and across the country. So I just thought to maybe ask a few questions before the rest of the guys come, or even when they come on, we can discuss. First, I want to know, is this program open free day to the guys from UP or is open to everybody? Because I'm asking this question. Yesterday, I realized more Ali came on. Then we had Gono coming on. And I mean, just people coming in at will. So I was a little bit concerned. I thought to ask this question to you. And maybe when Stanton comes on, I also want to ask if it's open because I thought it was unique to individuals from different institutions or political parties. But yesterday I saw Ali coming, Mape, Gono coming. And you also have Fagon on the show and the rest of it. So I really want to understand what is the ground rule for being on this show in terms of membership from individual political parties or institutions in Liberia.
It sounds like something that you should talk to the CEO, Madam Titi, about. I would take that conversation to her, and also you can text the former CEO, Stanton Witherspoon, about your question. He probably will answer it. Professionalism permits me to be able to have those discussions in the background, not to have Liberian people who are listening to us bother with our innuendos that we'll be discussing in the back that we can't discuss in the back. So yeah, so discuss it with Madam Titi and Mr. CEO. I don't know the answer to your question, honestly.
Okay. So I'm looking also, you are serving as a moderator.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the sole moderator or Stanton is I mean, just coming in, and because yesterday he just interrupted and came in, and he appeared like he just took charge of the entire program. If he's a panelist and you are the moderator, then we all should have like equal time to discuss and make our comments and make our inputs into the conversation. Because one thing I want to also make clear here is that this show is very important to Liberian people. So I would advise that, I mean, we should do the show in a way that Liberian people get informed, because I can assure you that this show is going to inform Liberians as related to Liberian politics come October 2023. So we're not careful, we may just lose up. Sometimes it appears like we're having fun, or I mean, I can understand we have, you know, the part where we get relaxed, we laugh and do other things. But we have to make sure that we are focused and provide information that will inform Liberian people as a decision making when it comes to the election October 2023. So I really understand whether you are the direct moderator or someone comes in anytime and does what you want to do.
Okay, good question. Another good question to get oriented by Mrs. Connor, who is now the CEO. I can just tell you that Stanton Witherspoon, the former CEO, has a knack for moderating. I think he does a wonderful job. And I have a knack for teaching, and so I can do this job, but actually I don't think that I do it as well as he does. So when he comes in, we kind of have settled to have a co-moderation, but a lot of times I just step back and let him do it, because he knows how to talk and ask questions and what have you. My style is different. We all have different styles of moderating, and my style is different. So that's his style. Yes, he does come in. We got a running joke that he hijacks the show, but that's how it is. Yeah, but you can ask.
Yeah, I will do. I mean, I will have these concerns I want to really raise so that we can have the people informed about the show, the nature of the show, and the objective of this show, so we can be able to make sense. Because actually, to be very frank, this show is very important, and I will really advise that we make the show so much important to the point that it becomes a source of giving people information and helping them to make decisions in the process.
Yes, thank you for validating the importance of Spoon Talk. And interestingly, this show challenges others to think flexibly. This is not a regular talk show. This is why Liberian people love this show, because you never know what would happen. If you're a very structured person, you would get some problems you have some problems adjusting to the show. You never know. There's a lot of flows going on, because it is so important to Liberian people that when we even on the show, people can be texting us different information, and people can be wanting to come on the show. So, but yes, this is to me not an ordinary. I tend to be a very structured person, but I've gotten adjusted, and that's just how the show is. And that's one of the reasons why Liberian people appreciate and come every day. But I hear you. I think you should probably take your question back to Madam Titi Khan and also text Stanton. I think he should give you his number. All right. But short of that, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, okay. I mean, the country is doing well. The state is we are moving as a state in a peaceful way, even though we have serious economic challenges in the country. Obviously, the labor force Liberia is unemployed, so that is a challenge to Liberian people. But however, the Liberian government is doing its best to respond to the situation according to its strength. And even though it's not to the best of Liberian people's expectations, so that's why it's good that our Liberian constitution requires that after every 6 years, Liberian people review what their government has done and put in for an election where Liberian people will be recruiting or hiring new leaders to move on with the state in the next 6 years. So, I mean, we are what we are. It is what it is, like I normally hear people say. But from the perspective of Lino, we are putting our hearts together in terms of when to ensure that the election becomes the Liberian people election, in the sense of the generation of this country taking charge of their own leadership. Because Lino is a party of young people, And as is clearly indicated from the standard bearer, Dr. Clarence Monimba, a young, vibrant, educated, well-disciplined, trained, with the best character, a person of integrity, that he has picked also his running mate is also of the same kind of character. So with others happening in Liberia, Lino is working directly with Liberian people to ensure that Liberians will make the right decision come October 10, 2023. I've been today on the phone call with more than hundreds of people from across the country from my first appearance on the show yesterday. I got calls from almost everyone from that followed the show, from the US, from Europe, from Liberia, for a matter of fact. And I'm so excited that my being here has recruited close to, from my phone call I received, close to like, a few hundred persons that called and said they want to join the party because they believe that the information I provided last night, just a little bit of that I provided, led to people surrounding themselves to come to Lino to ensure that they become part of the history making, where the people of Liberia will be taking charge of their governance with young people, with this generation. So yes, the country is facing challenges, but the country is prepared to turn things around to ensure that Liberia will be a great country after October 2023.
Yeah, thank you very much.
A new Liberia, for a matter of fact.
I'm happy to know that you were contacted by many people who heard you speak. This is what Spoon does to people. So that's good, I'm sure. I want to welcome Mr. Gibson Jeru. Mr. Gibson Jeru is from the Gonglo camp. It's good to see you, Mr. Jeru. I will let you tell us more about who you are. I'm not going to say anything.
Right. Okay. Look. First of all, in Liberia, right in my living room here. I hope the light is not too bad, the lightning. And I'm excited because on the 7th, I will be going to Banga, and on the 8th will be the introduction of the unveiling of the VP candidate. Councillor Gonglo just left from here. He just came to say hi and to assure me that we'll be in convoy going to Banga. And I'm so elated. I am so ready for it. And I'm happy to be back. I made Monday and Tuesday, and that is painful to miss 2 days. Miss 2 days of work. Yeah. But I'm here, and I will be here hopefully on. I may not be able to be on the 8th because that will be the day everything is going to happen, but I will be on until I return on the 16th.
Yes. Thank you for joining us from Liberia. I know it's a lot of effort, and we appreciate your commitment to the show. Well, and I'm sure you're going to tell us more as you go along in terms of
yes,
your unveiling of the your vice president.
But how you just serious? So why you serious? You coming on
Let me welcome yourself. Yeah, somebody got echo. Somebody came with echo.
I think somebody playing audio somewhere.
Okay, let me welcome Mr. Fagon, and I want to welcome the former CEO, Stanton. We're here again today.
You can tell the former CEO team from there. Just call me Stanton.
Okay, Stanton.
Get you in the darkness. Hurry over here before the internet go off.
Just join the show. Just
I
start.
I heard that Councillor Gonglo transfer Gibson to Liberia, Fagon. Dr. Richardson, I'm here for no small. Councillor Gonglo, his last man he collected, transfer Gibson to Liberia. Councillor Gonglo, where your according to my Councillor Gonglo, Gibson, where your brother Paco? Why Councillor Policy?
I'm told he's supposed to come on. I hope he comes on, and I transmitted your message in the chat room.
I never gave you any message for him. Don't do that.
Yeah. No, you wrote in the chat room that the man is still here. He's still in the chat room.
Why our chat room discussion cannot come out? I asked you a simple question.
Okay, no problem.
But is it true that Councillor Gonglo personally transported you to Liberia?
No.
I will say the one I will let you go, Dr. Richardson. Is it true? How much have he given you? I heard that he gave you a lot of money, though.
We are the one paying money for the campaign. We're not taking money.
Oh, I forgot. I forget that pedestrian argument. I forget. Go ahead.
Councilor Congo just left the main house.
The man just left from here in my living room right now. He just walked out. So
Councilor Congo just left from your house?
Yeah.
Yes, right now. He just left. I think he not go far yet. I think he just right outside the fence.
I mean, what's the man brother name? Man brother name Kelegbetu or Kelegbetu? What's that name?
Kelegbetu.
Ask Mr. Fago.
Yeah, Fago friend.
No. I call you sister-in-law coming on the show. She's the guest today. Yeah. I didn't know that Madam Grace found a Fago sister-in-law. I didn't know that. Oh yeah, I called that brother. Gave me the whole information. She married a Fago.
Plenty of relatives, my brother.
Okay. Well, do you guys want to just check in? I want to just check and see how Mr. Fagon doing. He's quiet. We didn't see you yesterday. I don't know what happened.
Just leave that one.
Just leave that one.
Leave that one. I can explain that story to you, but just leave that DUI story.
Okay. So should we bring Madam Pan on? Yeah, let me know.
Johnny looking serious. So no, that Madam Pan way back. We get we start nothing yet. Let's put it in gear. Let's put it in Zigo. How Johnny looking serious? So Johnny, what's up?
No, Stenton, you don't want to get a problem with Stenton.
You got bad. Your second day on the show, you get problem with me. You better watch it.
Right, you business be there. You want to bring in all kind of Kalo thing on the show here.
Oh, that means what Dio Kolo? That means what you eat. What you mean, Kalo?
You ready to get one group absolute leverage on the show here. Then you say only one member come from Lano. You got people from UP, more than 10% on the show. You don't bring them all on the show here. You know UP show here. They show La Brain Post show.
I think that crab baby. I think he will be crying for long. He's a crab baby.
Wait.
You beat me on the show here. You bring file.
He's a crab baby.
I thought the only person that's going to cry on the show was Councilor Lamy. I know we're not getting a second cry.
We get two. Crab baby. They want to show you in no time. You brought Mo Ali. You brought and Gono. Then you had to put them. If you bring file, you bring me on the show. You bring file. I know me on the show. Otherwise, we'll make you go on the show. Yeah.
Oh.
Lano said he exists.
Let me tell you something for you, right? Tell you what I have Madam Pankami. They Lano thing here without going anywhere. Let me say my own now.
My sister here from Poma on the show here should not be here, and your A3 Lano on the show here. My Francis, in fact, I think one of her brothers should be my best friend, Church, you know with.
I mean, the man is crying more than the bereaved.
He haven't started yet. He didn't make 2 days yet. He's crying.
Who the bereaved yet?
I mean, the day you get in studio, you get technical difficulties.
Yeah, on the show, you bring more than 2 UP men on the show here. I will ask you to bring more than 2 Lano men on the show. If I'm going to want to talk, I will demand.
And it's not how many people that come.
Google Pro get there are 3. They are considered policy. Now they bring a man-made, woman-made, what's the man-made? Woman-made or man-made? Man-made, right? Man-made. So get a man. Now man-made. They brought Kelegbetu, we talk about Kelegbetu, he get back. But if I go, man, why are you so serious? Nobody tell you not to pay the house rent. Don't be serious, I go. I'm begging you back.
You just listed 3 persons from Congo. So where's my space for Lano on this show to make it 3-2?
But you just came to life. You just came to life. You were dead.
I mean, you're not doing good for your party. Johnny, you ain't doing good for your party. You even win the election here, you shepherd your government.
My man, I'm not waiting. Now, you said 3% from Congo people here. Okay. I want to have 3% for Lano here. Otherwise, then this show will be talking away for you myself.
Oh my God. Okay. Let me go on mute.
Let me leave the guy alone. Somebody asking you buy space here? You gotta answer the question.
This is for the Rainbow Show. This is the Rainbow Show. This is for democracy. Equal participation. So Fagon is here.
I mean, you talking about Stella Barratown. The one guy look you said talking plenty. You finna tell also.
She come here. Your house she come here. She will come. She come to you.
The woman look like Glorious Scott. I see her in the back. She look just like Glorious Scott. Seriously, maybe I don't know. She look just like Glorious Scott. I don't know what a woman follow Fagon brother. How had a man if Fagon imagine your own brother? I'm sorry for her. But anyway, let's have a wonderful show. Honorable Fagon, what's up?
You know, you're saying, Fagon, you serious. Because in the back, it may be more to me, coming to bring party people. I go here about Linsu. I brought National Student Union. Now then you can bring here.
Oh, now Lano, now Linsu.
They all more like Linsu.
I like it. Bring the argument.
Johnny, wait now, one at a time. Johnny, calm down, small man.
The next thing here is.
Thank you, Fango. Bring that argument.
Calm down, Johnny. Johnny, calm down.
I thought you were going to bring. I thought you were going to bring my Ellen party representative here, but you're bringing proxies because this election is going to be between my Ellen, her group, and Joseph Numa Parker. Don't be bringing proxy people to come debate us, because right now what my Ellen has done, you got Jawia, who she ushered on the Liberian people.
The man praying Israel. The man in Israel praying. He bought in the war.
She used me as the lead campaigner. Cummins, who she brought into the country 2007. Clarence Moneyba, who she brought.
Come in, I collect him back from Philadelphia. He on the way back home. Call him.
Yeah. Cummins brought Charlene Bromskin, the daughter of Charles Walker Bromskin, whom they gave the 50 pickup to. Cheru them over there. Now Cummins, Bromskin daughter. Now they bring my sister-in-law and put her with money back. And you know, Grace Band, my Ellie, we have people in there. The woman who carrying my sister-in-law to jail, I was crying. Very proud. What are you crying for? You see me here. Very proud. Tell her whole people.
Oh, that's a Grace Band?
Yes.
That's Madam Kona?
Yes.
Oh my God. Fagon.
So you see,
I remember that. I saw that on CNN.
Because
I saw it on CNN, Fagon. I saw it on CNN.
Yes.
Mary boy just caught that car.
Yeah.
Took the woman pour in the car and said, none day. I will not happen today. Mama, I can't wait to bring in the Oma. I got to bring in the Oma.
You see why I serious? Because you are not bringing my early representative on the show. You're bringing proxies. Bring my early representative because we who here, we are the supporters of Joseph Newman Barker. We're going against our Oma.
You be complaining about my Ellen. How you scared of that Oma so?
Because of your Oma, all of your own one thing.
And now the Oma
but you're not scared of the Oma. Why you can't say yes, she's supporting coming?
Because the former CDC man, well, yeah, didn't even say that you are CDC man. Then you want me
to. Today you're going to play that video where my Ellen said Joseph Newman Parker is the most experienced in 2017. And he's the one that she's going to put her bet on.
And we'll play the video where she said he's going to get it. It seems where I work hard for it.
Yes, and now he's working hard for it now.
So as long as he work hard, I got no problem.
The Liberian people already say he finished working, so they're giving it to him. He worked for 12 years.
Not putting the Liberian people.
The Liberian people finished 14 the man. Why wasting our time?
Somebody said Grace Band is an incarnate of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
No. We're not talking behind Oma. I would prevent you from talking. She's not on the show.
You're Gomlo people.
I get married, bro. I got married, bro. I got Madam Cassell, the former gender minister, and we're talking about Madam Grace Tee Kpa.
Yes.
Don't. Mama, you are meeting. You interrupting us so much. Why we doing spoon? You will be talking. Nobody will hear you, Johnny. Johnny, you will be talking. Nobody will hear you. You gotta work for your time, my man. We quit to mute here.
This is spoon talk.
All right, Johnny, let me bring you in now for you to welcome our dear mother, our friend, the Honorable Grace Tee Kpa. Johnny, can you welcome her on the show, please?
And don't charge no money.
Johnny, go ahead now.
All right, so fellow Liberians, welcome to the next Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, come October 10, 2023. One of Liberia's most astute citizen or female leader. She has set the record that most Liberian young women see her as a mentor. And so she's welcome to this show. I hope we can give her all the respect and give her the opportunity to respond to the issues that will be aroused. and that she'll be laying the issues up and the reasons why Liberians should see the money back ban ticket as the best ticket in these elections. Not even having a second thought. If you really want to have a new Liberia to depart where we are, the money back ban ticket is the clear option to all Liberians. So, Madam Kwan, welcome to the show, and I'm here with Stanton, with Fangon, with my brother Gibson from the Congo team, and my dear sister and sister-in-law, for the matter of fact, because her husband is a friend and brother of mine from Bon Mines. And so, Madam Kwan, you are welcome, and we ask technicians to unmute you so you can make your opening statement. So, thank you.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes, okay. Are you hearing me?
Not hearing her.
Is,
We're not hearing
is everybody hearing me? Well, I'm here.
Okay, we're hearing you now.
Yes, okay. Thank you for allowing me on your show. And we are excited to be here today. So I'm here to listen to
Madam, I suggest the German. Okay, thank you. The German helping you. Let him just move a hand from behind you. Let him can be on the side because you are everybody looking at you. So you can be on the side, but don't put your hand behind her. He said, honorable. Thank you.
Maybe okay. So here we are. I'm waiting to hear. I think everybody knows Grace Tee Kpa. It's a household name. So we are excited to be on this show to give our policies and let you all know what we envisage in the new Liberia. We can assure you that the Liberia that you've seen for many years is going to change under our leadership. I heard somebody say you're going nowhere. Well, if we were going nowhere, then we won't have anybody behind us. Because a great leader said anyone who leads with or anyone following is taking a walk. And I sure we are not walking, we are leading. There are people that are following us. So I'm happy to be on your show today. And we also want to let you know what some of our policies are. One of what we have is on our plate right now is to ensure that there's a complete decentralization in the new Liberia, where we will have the issue of everything just being in one box, giving local authorities and the various municipalities the opportunity to function as they should. We have agreed that line ministries and there will be certain ministries, agencies, and that will be under the office of the vice president, so that she can be able to assist the president. Because if you read the Constitution, it says clearly that the vice president is supposed to assist the president. Now, if we go to the Bible, it says a woman is a helpmate. So I always ask people, doesn't the wife help the husband? If it is so, in leadership for our own democracy in Liberia, we see the president as the head and the vice president as the assistant. So I'm positive that on our line, we make the new in the new Liberia, we're going to make a difference, because we won't have that notion that the vice president is somebody who is not who won't function as he or she should. So that's the new Liberia we envisage. We envisage complete transformation of our health sector, of our educational sector, and even looking at roads to at least all of our counties. So if you don't have roads in between, but you have at least road leading from here to Maryland, where we also go and do mission work. Sometimes we take 2 weeks on the road, going to Sino, going to Maryland, and it's a sad thing going to Lofa. Those are places that we have institutions. So we pray and hope that as we come to 2023, October 10th, the dawning of a new day, the new president of the Republic of Liberia will be announced in person of Dr. Clarence Moniba, along with his vice, and I can assure you Liberia will be better. So that's our opening statement for now. So here I am, listening, watching, waiting to hear what you guys have on your microphones or whatever.
Yeah, so I want to join Mr. David to welcome you to Spoon as well. What we're going to do is we are going to take turn asking you two questions at a time and for you
Okay.
to respond. And then if there's anything that you feel you want to add on for the Liberian people to know you better, because I think we serve a wide population, and many people might want to know even more about you, like your experience, your background, you know, what makes you qualified to be a vice president of Liberia?
Okay. So you want me to answer that, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to explain before we go
Okay.
around.
So let me say again. The name is Grace McGill Kpa, not the other McGill. Okay. I'm McGill from Monterey County. The wife of Bishop S. Oliver Kpa. I'm the former president of the Dock Workers Union of Liberia. The former president, when Dock Workers Union of Liberia includes the four seaports, so that's Harper, uh, Sino, Buchanan, and Monrovia. And also the president of the International Transport Workers Federation with headquarters in London, which has approximately 700 unions and over 10 million workers. Maybe we could talk about the ITF, subsequently. I also served as member of the board of directors of the National Port Authority for 12 years. Also, I served as the interim deputy managing director for operations. I also became superintendent of Monterey County. I served the Liberia Labor Congress Women Desk treasurer and served the Redemption Hospital. And under my leadership at the Redemption Hospital, we're able to negotiate with ICRC and some other donors to ensure um, the infectious unit was not just like the regular one they were building all around. You know, when we have these issues of breakout of diseases, everybody is rushing to do makeshift structures. And later, for my background, I'm a developmental oriented person, and I thought just building something after the Ebola and you know break it apart is finished. But why don't we construct something that will last? So whenever there's an outbreak break of any disease, we have a place where we can first use as a response unit. So if you went to the Redemption Hospital today, you will see that building is still standing there. That was a great achievement. We also achieved ensuring that the land for the new Redemption Hospital was we negotiated with the dweller, those who were living on the land were able to pay them off, even though some people got paid 2 times. Well, when it's bad, we call it Liberian way, but that's not the best way. So we did all of those, and the first structure that got on that piece of property was the National Drug Service. So we are happy that we could make those impacts that many Liberians felt. When I was president of the Workers' Union, we had over 2,500 ex-combatants that were just employed, randomly at the port. And getting rid of them was a task, but under my leadership, I can assure you that people walk away with thousands and thousands of US dollars. It was no issue, it was no noise, because we did it as per the labor law. So we also made sure that salaries were changed in 6 months into Madam Salif's government. The lowest paid salary at the port, and many people wonder why people worked at Freeport. It was not so much of the money they were making. You know, we had all the NGO, they have warehouses, so people get the corn wheat, the buckwheat, what have you. But the salaries were so low. The lowest paid person was 350 Liberian dollars. The only extra thing we got as employee was rice. Maybe they started with 30 cups, then half bag, then one bag. So when I became president of the union, there was an outstanding arrear of 3 months. And I can tell you when I had done all my due diligence with the ITF, I got that support, and the ITF has the capacity to stop vessels from coming in the port. It has the capacity to stop planes from flying to Liberia. It has the capacity to stop even trucks coming to Liberia, whether it's doing cross border or whatever. So under my leadership, those were accomplished. So in 6 months, when I had posted all my shop stewards at the pier and were able to do the summer depth of these vessels that were coming in, I took my case to the management and to the board, of which I was a part of. There was no reason why NPA management could not change our salary. So the lowest paid person got 212 United States dollars, and up to manager level was 1,005, and you, the list goes on. So with that experience and the kind of person I am, I'm a tax-oriented person. I don't come to any job, dragging my feet. Whenever I hit the ground, I want to hit it running. So I'm in this thing, and I'm in it to win it.
Thank you.
Maybe other things to be said.
Thank you. For the sake of time, we'll just begin our questions, questioning you. I want to start, Mr. DB, I'm going to hold you last because, you guys are party members. I'm going to go with Mr. Gibson Giroux, who came in next, and then Stanton, and then Fagon, and then Mr. Mame. I think that'll be the order of our conversation here. So, Mr. Gibson Giroux, please go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Mame, you are most welcome, a very young intellectual. Let me go back to Madame Ban. We know you. We know you very well. Some people think that you and Monimba are the stooges of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf because there's no difference between you and Ellen. How do you respond to that?
Well, everybody has his free mind. We are free moral agents. You can speak as you wish, but I can tell you for sure, and believe it or not, I mean, I won't force you to believe in it. I don't just be. I'm one person who does not just believe anything about anybody. No, I go to the letter. If I have to go the extra mile, I will do it because I want to be convinced. And Madam Sally, they didn't select me. Madam Sally, they didn't ask me. I was one of those who was trying to make sure that the boycott Cummings ticket worked. Okay. And so I took it upon myself and went to see Honorable Cummings. Two questions I had. One was the issue of the rear Alex and this whole um whatever. And I went to him and said three things. I said, well, normally people come to big people, they come for either to look for money. I didn't come to look for money. Think a woman goes to a man because she was looking for a man. I got a very handsome husband. He's maybe 3 years older than what I am, but he looks far younger than what I am. Those people are very strong and live long in the family. He's a handsome guy, really. I tell you that for free. So Stanton, don't get jealous. Okay. Anyway, so and I said I didn't come to look for a job either. I said I came for one thing. The first one is what is this issue on this, whatever. And he said, look, Grace, I'm not a gay. I will not be a gay, blah, blah, blah. And do you know, I told him, I said, Mr. Thomas, I believe what you say. I said, we've heard it on the air. I wanted to understand it. Where you work? He said, where I work was, it's that kind of way. But I said, but then why don't you go back to the Liberian Court and explain? I said, because the first time you came to Liberia, I was one of those who was after everything you were doing. But when I heard that, it drew me back. And everybody that I heard talk about you, I personally discouraged them. I said, so I feel unhappy if this whole issue of a one-round thing is not a merger with you and Honorable Boyka. I see it's difficult for us to get through. And I said, so the next question is, where do we go with the merger? There is a no-go thing for me, and we kept talking about it. And he said, why should I go second? I said, because you need the old map to plant the new one. And then he said, well, but the man has not asked me. So I thought that was a little line that I could lean on to say, okay, then I think there's hope if we continue to pursue this issue. Then I decided to pursue Honorable Boyka. I did everything I possibly could. Unfortunately, I got as close as his office door when they were signing the Farmington agreement. So he had to leave. And then I never got a call back. So I said, well, I'm going to sit down and just wait for election day and do my any, mini, money move, and that's it. But while waiting, anticipating, who next will I look at? And I said, well, for me, a vice presidential candidate is close to the presidency. So it's important to me as well. And the issue of other people came about, I just didn't like not the person, people in person, but kind of connections and relationship. I thought, well, I was not going that route. I just thought to be home. When I got the call, I told my family, told my friends, and to others, and they said, well, it's a good idea. And I also felt very strong in my spirit that, look, this is something that I can get involved with, and I'm sure that we can get somewhere about with the whole process. So yeah, I am. Yeah, I am.
My second question will have to do with rule of law. I know you had some skirmishes before with the Lord, and at some point in time, there was a stern action that should have been taken against you, but it was. If I'm wrong, let me know. And Madam Mayor Bro averted that process of you going to jail for whatever
So
reason.
so 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 so
Now,
your man, your man. I speak like a man. Don't make it like Speak. Say what is the issue? Let's say the exact issue, and then
I've
so we
been
can
man
discuss
all
the
my
issue.
life. Yeah, I've been man all my life, and I'm still man. So
I'm
the
sure you
question
are.
I'm
I mean,
asking
I don't
is,
want you. I don't want you to. I don't want you to just take it from the bottom. I want you to take it from the top, and then we can dive into it.
the question I'm gonna, Madam, don't worry, you will get more of me.
All right,
The
okay.
question I'm
I
trying to
understand.
ask you, the question I'm trying to ask you, let me give you a premise, and then you will
Okay.
understand the question I'm trying to ask you. Sometimes way back, Councilor Gonglo had an encounter with a taxi driver. He hit the taxi driver, and because he was a special advisor to Amos Sawyer, the police people decided that the taxi driver was wrong. So they took them, they said, okay, they were taking the taxi driver. He went after them and told the Dex and said, no, the taxi driver is not wrong. I hit him. I wasn't even paying attention, and I will be responsible to take care of his car. You did not refuse to go to jail. You allowed someone to carry you, and you did not obey the law. Is that what you're going to do when you
That's
become vice
okay.
president?
That's not. That's not true. It would have been better. I heard Xbox history. What is the real story? Let me give you the real story. Because I
Okay,
watched the
thank you
show
very much.
last night. Yeah, let me give you the real story. And I don't know if we have the time to play the
And
tape.
I'm
I
going
would
on mute,
really
so I
like.
can't talk to you. I can't be talking. I'm going on mute. Go ahead.
Okay, so the real story was the whole. I know is Liberian people say you eat, I eat, but that's not the story. The story is I eat, you eat, the minister eat. I'm afraid to eat. I will eat your own. So if everybody listened to that tape from start to finish, we won't even be talking what we are talking here. Then this thing went on, and the 45 we devour all the lawmakers. No, we got 2. As a matter of fact, he said we got 2.9. We work in 2.5. I said for the project, or the fees, or the everything. If anything, we throw it somewhere. I think I show you. I show that tape was given to your studio, so it will be good if we have to pay for extra time here tonight. That tape is played, so everybody can get a clearer picture and understand it. Because I can almost recite all the recordings I did. Why did you do it? My predecessor suffered the same thing. My predecessor suffered the same thing. So when I got there, I was prepared for the battle. There was a recording also where Senator Edwin Snow said, "Look, nobody should say Grace Pan took money or Grace Pan disrespected the lawmaker." Is that a reason to send me into jail? Let me tell you, Mary Broad did not release me. When we got to that prison compound, it was like Daniel entering the lion's den and the mouths of the lions were shut. We met 3 prison guys holding hands together like that and stopped us from entering the prison. My lawyer, Counselor Poe Brambu, had gotten a prohibition. So we stood out there for the longest. The reason why everybody refers to Mary is because Mary always drove, all her pickups were white. And I also went to the Capitol building that in a white pickup. When I got to the central prison, and we'll talk the story later because you dealt directly on at the prison. And when Mary Broad came, I got that video as well. I'm a person who like to keep document. I like to document every little thing. Sometimes I misplace some of them. It takes me days, but I find it. And I heard one guy, his name was Prophet, something he used to use the chauffeur, the long ram horn that the people use in Israel to blow. He came and he said, "It's after 6 o'clock. Let the madam go. I have my own security." And to be candid with you, when I got to that Capitol building, I was, I was, I was prepared for anything. So when they followed, 2 lawmakers followed me. One was Josephine George Francis, who I refer to the political Delilah, because when Honorable Ford started harassing and tormenting me for this money, I went to her personally. We met at Royal Hotel, to the restaurant right down there when it was, that old building they had. And we sat there. I remember drinking Sprite, and no, she was drinking Sprite, and I ate fries. And when I explained the story to her, she said, "Look, that man have it in the AME church. Honorable Dr. Young left him one time, and blah 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 blah." I'm saying that so you can get the story real well. I became superintendent in 2010 of May. May 2010, there was no county money. There was complete freeze on all our county funds. So by February 2011, the government at the time lifted the moratorium on the money. So when that moratorium was lifted, I wrote to EcoBank and told EcoBank, since I am not principal signatory A or principal B, and that was the reason why they wanted it like that. So they shifted the issue of signatory to the development superintendent and the PMC. Now to explain the PMC, the PMC is the one for project management committee. So they had a head of that committee who was responsible to sign the check. Grace never, ever, there is no ID file or single living being to show me one document or one check, and I can show you many checks that was signed by Grace. So I wrote at the bank. I said, because the government want to lift the freeze on the county development fund, I still got a letter here. I will forward most of them to you so you can take time and read it. Please, any check coming to you should be accompanied by a letter from the office of the superintendent. That did not happen. So they decided that the money that came from that was left there from my predecessor, it should be used for scholarship funds. If you look at Mr. Stanton, if you look at all the letters coming from Capitol Building, it had on them also a representative. This one is a county resolution. Interesting, I will see this letter. No county resolution is signed by a lawmaker. This is the Honorable Ford writing the development superintendent. This is Honorable Ford's signature. Power, kindly find attached regional copy of the signed resolution for the county council passed June 2011. 3 months after the mayor returned.
Madam Grace, sorry to interrupt
you.
We are having a problem hearing you well.
Okay. So are you hearing?
Yeah, maybe let's just forget about those letters yet, and maybe you will follow.
Yes, right. So when all of those were done, I decided to do due diligence. When I decided to follow up on them, they got angry. I was listening out when they took to the airways. I came back to clear air. It became an issue. So the only remedy now was, because I was checking behind schools and some of them was not real stuff, they got angry and decided to call me to plenary and then raise some funny allegations that they didn't even work. Then I was called to do several things, and I wrote a letter to Tyler and said, I will respect the honorable, but future other will note my stance that I've taken. These things were messed up. So we'll give they gave Tomofala 20,000 years. It was check, cash, and all of that. Before the reason how I get this thing, is because after the talk show at Truth FM, I demanded I should give copies of documents to me as principal A or principal B. All the checks were signed, no voucher. I only supposed to sign the voucher, no voucher was signed, so I canceled all the voucher. It made it even worse. So I was taken to Capitol Building. The next minute, they wrote one email. They spelled my name, said I was writing to somebody, and the email, apparently somebody's box was hacked, and the email date was 2008. I became superintendent in 2010. That email disappeared in here. Nigeria has serious problem with corruption.
So Madam Grace.
Let
me. I beg of you. We're going to go into this story better when Let's just be given the time to ask some of these questions. I just don't want us to lose track. This is Liberians, home and abroad. Listen to you. Yeah, the internet went off. Dr. Richardson, Eugene Fagon, I see that my brother Gibson went off also.
He's back.
I think Gibson is back.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, we have Madam Grace T. McGill, VSB for Clarence Motorbike Delano. It's gonna be rough a little bit, Fagon. What do you have heard so far? Talk to me. What I believe she's trying to reconnect right now. But what you have heard so far, Fagon, I don't want to lose focus here with Gibson last question.
Well, good evening to the peace-loving people of Liberia, and good evening to all of you. I think, first of all, it's important that I let everybody know that my father, and I would like to thank the gentleman who called my name the appropriate way. I don't know if he's a day man. My name is not Fagon. My name is, just like you say, Fambule, Fahn, or Famboya. My name is Fangon. And he called my name perfectly well. I'm sure it was Grace who told him. But I don't think my in-law, and like I said, my father, S. Oliver Kpa Sr., that's his junior that she's married to. S. Oliver Kpa Sr., Thomas Jalagbi Fangon, Joseph Mwevi with 3 boys that they brought to Monrovia to go to school. And in our tribe, we're members of the Dane tribe. We are from Dewen district. We don't have cousins. And so she's my in-law. We are only brothers. It's important that I state that because everyone is asking me whether I would give her a hard time. And they will see I would give her more than hard time. But given what I've heard, I think if she cuts the explanation to the chase, she will help herself greatly. The long explanation for a politician is not necessary. Gibson asked the question was direct. Are you going to obey the law because Mary Broad took you from praising gods or whatever? I think.
Well, I didn't hear that portion, so I will obey the law. Once there's a law, it should be respected.
Yeah, and I think you, and he asked me, like I said, she just should have responded, yes, I will obey the law, and the incident that happened is not the right way you're putting it. I was never intercepted by Mary Broad and removed. The fact of the matter is...
I was never intercepted by Mary Broad. No, that's not a true statement. See, that's not a true statement.
We did 38 in the area there, that's what I'm telling you. The long explanation will eat up your time. And I think you want to
well, sometimes a long explanation won't give you the opportunity to ask some of the other questions you want to ask.
Yeah, but that's so just with respect
thank you.
To...
Okay, let's just dwell on where we want to dwell and then continue from there.
Yeah, thank you for sending out the disclaimer that Madam Pan is related to you, but you're one of the ugliest.
My husband, not Madam Pan.
Yeah, but through your husband, Madam. Through your husband.
I mean, I just got to know that a few days ago.
So
I really just got to know that a few days ago. Oh no, I mean, I'm not saying he isn't. If his family member say
your husband is handsome.
Oh, he's very handsome. Very handsome.
Yeah, I know.
Of course, he found out in Fangon. You can't. If you put him to a Fangon, you jump for him more.
I'm the only ugly person, so I can't talk about fine business.
Let me ask you, how long you been with a gay man?
31 unbroken years.
And you hear it?
Wow.
7 years of dating, 31 years marriage, 4 children.
You see it?
Powerful.
It tells you what gay people can do.
No.
Well, I know this one. I don't know you well, so I will speak for the one that I know.
You just got to know a few days ago that how secretive we are.
No. Let us see your Beneba.
Let us see your Beneba. Leave it alone. Madam Grace, on a very serious note, let's just come home because a lot of folks watching you, and this is no joke. You're going for the second highest office in the land. What make you qualify for this position? You brush off on it a little bit. Now we have people going to let me rest with this. The main question is what make you qualify for this position? Second to that, you work under the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Madam President administration.
Right.
The person who you're going to be serving under work under Madam Sirleaf administration. Madam Sirleaf's second term was the most horrible term for the 12 years. Massive corruption. Clarence was right there. I say Clarence because we are of the same age group. Or I would say Dr. Maduba. He was right there. You were your friend. My own crew Oma, Mary Broad, and the rest of the Oma that I like to joke around with. Yet and still you didn't deliver for Liberia on her second term. Now,
you
why
know,
should the people trust you? Let me finish now. Why they should trust you and Clarence? That's my second question today.
where I worked, I performed 100%, 100%. I was not president. You see, I think if you leave the show, you know, everybody who's coming to the election, coming to remove a sitting government. And I notice every time everybody come on the show, is Madam Ellie, Madam Sally, Madam Ellie. Leave Madam Sally. Madam Sally time has passed. It's almost 6 years since then it been gone. Let's talk about my personal achievement, what I have done and what I can do. Whatever Madam Sally did is Madam Sally. Whatever Grace Pan has done is Grace Pan.
Madam
So
Grace,
I am not Madam
Grace
Sally.
Pan,
Madam Sally
Pan,
played her role as
your
well as
boss,
she could.
yeah, your boss, your
Mm.
immediate, the men are going to be president and you come next in the entire country. He worked for Madam Sally. He served Madam Sally. He was there through the trenches. He suffered. He enjoyed.
So that makes him qualified for the position. He has
I'm not talking about his qualification. I'm not talking about his qualification. When he came and spoke, talk, sorry that I miss him. He brought under Madam Sally some form of corruption. Why he didn't resign when everyone was saying Madam Sally government was corrupt? Why he
I won't speak for I won't speak for anybody. I won't speak for anybody because I'm Grace Pan. I want to talk about Grace Pan.
But that would be better for me on the show tonight, though. You represent him on the show tonight, right?
Of course, I represent him. I know who he is. I know what he has done. I know what he has done. You know, sometimes when we misinformation and misinterpretation of things won't help us. We have to. That's why I told you I'm a detailed person. If I heard negative thing about Stanton, like we heard plenty all kind of funny things. The Weatherspoon that I knew, I don't know whether you were from the same family on Carey Street at the back of the McGill place there on we were on Benson Street. Okay, the Weatherspoon the Weatherspoon on Carey Street. So it was very good neighbors. And we live in peace and harmony back then in the days. These days, people neighbors is a whole different thing. But anyway, it's our responsibility to show the Liberian people what we have done and what we can do. So let's do more on our platform. What good are we bringing to Liberia? Stanton, I have a record of living with the ordinary Liberian. I told you we had 2,500 workers, ex-combatants in the port. Nobody left that port with all getting the benefit. I'm the person who would be so detailed to the extent. We have on our own, personally, we have gone to the ghettos and the prostitution camp. Do you know this country? Every sector of this country or every nook and corner you go to, nothing. I was just in one ghetto today. Ghettos and prostitution camp. Do you know our children are dying 247? Do you know the kush and the whatever killing them? How many ordinary, how many person who even running as whatever or want to be will take that thing?
Because I have to get off that. I've asked my last question. That's the reason why I'm asking you. Kush.
That's why I'm answering you.
Kush, Zogos, and every other thing you're talking about disadvantaged folks in Liberia. Didn't start with this government. It started with Madam Salif government. It began.
It started after the war. No. It started. It started after the war.
Madam Grace, please, we just can't talk like this. I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm saying Madam Salif government, Chastity government. I'm going back there. Emma Sawyer down the line. Just after
so let's talk about what were Grace Pan. What were Grace Pan? Go ahead.
Okay. I want you saying that you visited ghettos. You're seeing prostitutions all over on the street of Liberia. You want to fight and champion this cause. You are saying it. Why now? Why didn't you do it during Madam Salif time while you were serving? But let me. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You don't know I've done it. From 2006, we took 50 men, including women and children, out of Soladi base. The word Soladi means death is better than life. Those kids were transformed. If I send you some of the pictures of who they are right now, we put them in school. We've taken good care of them. Some of them did go back. Some of them died in the process from sicknesses and diseases. One of the major things was either TB. One of them had what the thing named tetanus because he got caught. When he's put on the street, sickness don't kill them, but by the time you try to rehabilitate them, it's a problem. But after he left us and went back into the ghetto, he died. I can visit any ghetto center. If you came to this country and your phone got missing, I can go there. If I know the particular ghetto, I can get it and get your phone from you. I've got retrieved many phones. These people are the worst in our country. When we go to bed at night, especially when it's raining, they come to our homes. Why do they come? Because they feel disenchanted. They feel left out of society. When we took those children out of the street, we kept them for over a year. And I consistently visited ghettos, and I consistently visit ghetto and prostitution camp. I was just in one today. That's my life. That's my life. All the babies that were in there, we took them out. That's my life. So it was far before Madam Salif came into power, and I continuously do it. We built free schools in this country.
Madam Grace, thank you very
help
much.
people.
I will come back.
So we can help.
We will come back.
We can make a new Liberia.
We'll come back.
We can do a new Liberia.
And someone says, Stanton, be careful. You can talk out of this thing. But I know very well. I know I can't. But let's move on. Let's bring in.
I wanted to ask my last question. I don't know if you guys
finish your question. No. You finish with your question. Eugene, can you come home while we give that to Richardson back on show? Eugene, ask your 2 questions. We'll go to Mame, and then we're digging some of the issue that was said by Honorable Four yesterday on the show. I heard that Honorable Four is reaching out to the network right now, but today is Madam Grace Tee Day. We will not bring in Honorable Four. We have to schedule him.
Give him the opportunity.
Are you calling for it?
Of course. Why not?
Okay. All right. I would just got to
extend the time, play all the tape, and then ask for.
I mean, we can extend the time, but you want us to bring Honorable Four on. If you call him for him, we'll bring him on. If not, we respect your schedule time.
Let's go ahead. Let me let you run your show. Let's go ahead.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay. Honorable Fagon, please. You're muted, sir.
No, I'm muted. I'm a mutant. Right now, you're having a mutation. Anyway, Madam Pan, welcome to Spoon Talk, the biggest platform in the nation and the platform that everyone listens to on several radio stations and television stations, as well as several online media, whatever. According to Madam Salif, and we can start with Mr. Kumis. We can come down to Dr. Moniba, including you yourself. When we look at the list, even JMB herself, all of you, Ellen brought you people to her government. So whether it be JMB or Wado, everybody was in there. But Madam Salif in 2017 said, and I quote, JMB is the most experienced, and she vowed to campaign vigorously to make him president. She said, and I quote, "That is my commitment. I say he's the best person and the most experienced." We have the videotape. Indeed, looking at all of you from the JMB down to Dr. Moneyba to you, she brought everybody. But when somebody says this person is the most experienced and he's the best, in her own words, I'm quoting her again. Quote,
"Politics, Madam President, that's everybody's favorite. I don't know why, but our country is becoming too political. The conversation is about 2017. It's starting so soon. You agree?"
I'm concentrating on just carrying out my presidential.
So you want me to answer?
My president, we're going to talk about 2017 a little bit.
I'm not Madam Salif. We are trying to campaign against.
He's worked with you 2 terms, and of course, coming to the end of your term,
that is already
declared that he accepted a petition from the people of Lofa County. I know in some way you have shown or expressed your intent to support him, but I just have to ask the question one more time.
Hello.
Where do you stand with your party and, of course, the vice president?
Look, let me be clear. It's more than hinting.
Okay.
Although there are many candidates who may make good presidents, but I say I'm supporting the vice president because I know that he's the most prepared, he's the most experienced, he's the one that's going to ensure continuity, building upon the progress we already have.
Okay, so here is my question. Madam Salif said in 2017 that this man was the most prepared, the most experienced, and the one that will ensure continuity. My question to you, and I know you say Madam Saliv is not running. Here is my question. Tell me, why are you not voting for JMB or not supporting JMB? I know you're running though, but there's got to be a reason why you are going to be on a ticket against this man. Here is my question. Why are you not following Madam Saliv's lead, or you are away from him? Give us a reason why you're not on that boat. Instead, you're on the money bar boat.
Okay. So, like I said, you do more, Madam Salif, than I was talking about who we are and what we're going to do. I'm not Madam Salif. I'm not going to deal with Madam Salif issue. I said earlier, I went to Mr. Cummings. I tried reaching Mr. Boyka for a one-time ticket, and it was not Boyka say, nor was it Cummings say. It was the Liberian people say. And as a Christian, I believe a kingdom divided cannot stand. If for any reason they had issues and looking at our situation in Liberia, we shouldn't be here talking about running anything. We should all be sitting somewhere waiting for inauguration. You serve a government. When you were there, we didn't hear many of the things you say. Today,
Madam, I'm giving you an opportunity.
And it's good. And it's good. It's good. Not 1 minute. It's good. No. Listen. It's my time now. You're giving me time to answer.
Yeah, but my question is for you to present your platform now that is better than the Boyka platform. There's got to be a reason why you're not on Boyka's
But that's the platform. That's the platform I gave earlier. I gave the platform earlier. Perhaps you weren't listening. I said our platform has to do with the transformation of Liberia. We're going to change the health sector. We're going to change the education sector. We're going to ensure that we have roads throughout the counties so that every county can be connected. So, and the list goes on. You can do everything. We can sit here today and say what it is, everything that we're going to do as a government. But we have plans. We are looking at a new Liberia where corruption will not be the order of the day, where people will be punished for wrong they do, the culture of impunity should end, and so on and so forth. But when we come on the show, it's Madam Salif. Stop, leave the old lady, let her live her life in peace, and leave us, let us do what we came to do. We came to tell you that we need Honorable Fangon, we need a new Liberia, and that's the trend we should take. You can go right here, Ghana, and go to good hospital. Why should we be having hospitals in this country? Like I said, when I was at Redemption, the building is there. So if any break or any disease right now, at least we have a point to start from under my leadership when I was at Redemption. So why should we be talking about Madam Salif is gone? If there's any problem, we should be trying to fix the one that we are in already. So let's leave the Madam Salif issue and dwell on the real substance. I wish, Madam Salif, I wish you're hearing the show because everybody thinks that we are the Madam Salif people. Please help us. I'm saying it publicly. Oh, the Madam Salif people are the other night I heard Ellen 1 and Ellen 2. Come on. So nobody in his right mind can stand up. The Constitution only tells me that I have to be either 25 or 35. Whether you crazy, you drug addict, you whatever, be 25. You have the right to run for any seat in government. There is no even anybody. So let's talk about more substantial issues than trying to dwell on Madam Salif. Oh, look, my Joe, that my Uncle Joe, that all of Uncle Joe, I knew him far before even becoming vice president. And I sought to meet him. Unfortunately, it just didn't happen. All I heard from his end, not from him in particular, the woman said no good thing. My own question was, and I won't say what I did in the rest of it. My own question was, if we come together as a collaborating force and we become divided, our national anthem says, "In union strong, success is sure." The union has been broken, and not just broken, but we haven't. Oh, don't let me go to the place I don't want to go. I think let's keep it nice.
Okay, my second question, because I gave you an opportunity to present the first one. So let me go to the second one.
Yes, sir.
The second one would be, you say you want a new Liberia. You want to transform Liberia. Those are your two words.
Right.
The next question would be, how? You
I
want
told
a
you
new
all
Liberia. You
Were
want
you
to
actually
transform
listening
the
to?
healthcare, the
Yes.
education, and the roads, and what have you.
We will
Those were
use
your
the
own words.
resources. We will use
How are you
the
going to
resource.
do it? Let's break
This
it
is what
down
we're
one
going
by
to.
one.
This
How
is
are you
what we're
going to
going to
treat
do.
education?
This is
How are
what
you
we're
going
going
to
to
do
do.
with the roads?
This
How are
is
you
what
going
we're
to
going to
do?
do. This is what we're going to do. The first and foremost thing, our government will be divided into a way where the vice standard bearer will have oversight over certain ministries and agencies. 1, 2. Our resources in this country is sufficient for each and every Liberian. Let's go to what we've heard many times. We ask, what is the salary of a lawmaker, right? What's the salary of a lawmaker? We get 15,000, so that's what we're going to take. If you take 15,000 and multiply it by the rate we have now, it would be approximately $2,650,000 for one lawmaker at the end of the month. If you divide that money by the salary of a police officer, you are able to pay 100 police officers. Don't you think that matters to us? That we'll be sitting here wasting time on other people? Your house on fire, you're going to look for water to cut on somebody. Oh, look, we have to take care of the issues. One lawmaker takes over $2 million Liberian dollars every month. When you multiply that by 103, we talk about billions of dollars being. I mean, I don't have power over the lawmakers. That one is clear. People ride cars that are so expensive. You come to a government with nothing, and you want to live a flamboyant lifestyle. You in public office, nobody can even come to you to talk the issues, and they are hindered. You take one single document to an office, and you run there forever to get it. If you don't have your copy with you, it's lost. Look, the culture of laziness, carelessness will not be found in our government because we ensure that we transmogrify the system. There are laws on our book, and these laws, when they are implemented to the letter, everybody will live in peace. We are not saying we are miracle workers, right? But if the resources are used for the intended purpose, Mr. Fangon, employment is an issue. I serve as labor union president. Do you know Liberia has over 4,400 FOC? Flag of convenience, let me put it that. And on each of those vessels, we should be having Liberians. That shouldn't be any worry for government. If each vessel took 5%, you know how many persons will be employed? Yeah, we got SETI right here, putting Steve factory.
Madam Grace, you don't want us to talk about Madam Sadiq government that you work in, that your
Madam Grace, you have not answered my question.
My authority was limited. My authority was limited to the office that I operated, and even at that.
No, it wasn't. You had influence.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Your stand-up bearer is a son to
It
Madam
doesn't.
Sadiq.
I will not accept that. It doesn't.
Yes,
It doesn't. No, Mr. It doesn't.
Madam Grace, because
I will have influenced the president.
No, you had influence. You have all proximity to the president to advise her. You were
the
right
president,
at the
advisor.
you
know you want to go back. And guess what? At the Freeport,
I have not
at the Freeport.
answer to my question. My question was,
how you going to do the question? What?
How you going to
what the question cost? What saying you say we family? What the question costing for gone? What the question, brother?
The question was, how you going
I'm
to
on
do
Neo.
this?
I'm on Neo. Okay.
She gonna put you in. Go ahead.
Come on.
Okay, I asked my question.
All right, thank you.
My friend can join you now. You ask a question.
I asked my question.
But madam, let's move ahead to
on the
I
bed.
want to make she finished with Fagon. That one done. We're gonna bring in Dr. Richardson for last on this. Let's bring in Abula Mame. Abula, your second day on the show, please. Your question to Madam Grace Kpa.
Yeah, Madam Grace Kpa, congratulations first. For your
thank you, sir.
Selection as a running mate to Dr. Moniba. I follow your track record. I worked with you once upon a time to open a bank account with First International Bank. I was the chief of staff to the managing director. I think that bank account even became a part of the whole story around accusation against you. But I just wanted to say congratulations first before I go to my question. You attempted answering some of my questions.
Okay.
And I want to direct my question more to issues that are burning around Liberians before we can go to the personal issues. Over 65% of Liberians are depending on 35% of Liberians to feed themselves. The food dependency and economic dependency is very high. People who are depending on other people to pay their way, buy them scratch card and buy them food, a good number of them have the capacity to work, but they do not have jobs to do. Historically, jobs have been focused, government attention to creating jobs have been focused on government employing people in government jobs, and most times don't pay them. Liberians listening to you today, concerned about how they can get jobs, want to hear from you. What is your plan? What's your strategy? Beyond just saying we'll create jobs, like every other presidential candidate we see. What's your strategy to create jobs?
The first one I told you, but the first one I've already told you, the flag of convenience. We should ensure that every vessel that bears the Liberian flag have Liberian have Liberians on them. Every one of them should have. Secondly, we have factories that are opening up into this country. Why should we just bring everything central town or its suburbs? We got rural counties. Why don't we take them there? You know, I think one of the problems is not that we lack jobs, we lack the wisdom to ensure that people get these jobs, or we are too greedy that we want all for ourselves, so we limit it. I can remember one time HPC, it's a German company that came to the port, and they decided to restructure the salary. I wasn't at the port at the time, but when I got there, I met that news. So when I became president of the union, I ensured the salary will change. The thing is simple. If I can do it there at the port, that's the gateway to our nation's economy. I can do it again. I can do it. So employment will not just be, oh, we're coming to employ, we to go cut grass. The first thing, the educational sector needs to be reformed. I run a school where we have a very good science library, blah, 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 blah. But we also have vocational training for our kids, so that when you leave high school, and that's one of the plans of Dr. Monumba, by the time he said that, for that, when you leave high school, at least you have something in your hands to work with. How many vocational training schools we have, Ryan? We have so many of them. But when people are done, they have to get jobs. Why are we buying furniture from other places, J-Mart and everywhere else? It's because even the Liberian carpenter having had the opportunity to upgrade himself to a certain level, so you don't want certain things for him. Upgrade them, bring training programs. When they are trained, you use them. The issue of our different counties, we put maybe Lofa, Bong, and other places, you put rice farm. There's one growing this. There's one chicken. We should stop eating imported chicken because it's not good for our health. All the country, sweet country chicken around here. It won't kind of just producing chicken. You think we need that thing coming on a vessel there for us? So too much to be done, but nobody to do it. Too much to be done. Employment. My school has a staff of almost 100%. Almost 100%. And guarantee when the month ends, they take the pay on time. Yeah.
Your second question, Mame.
My second question would be going back to your work as superintendent. There was this check circulated on social media of payments to lawmakers, to their private schools. That's conflict of interest. I know you mentioned the name Thomas Falla. I think you mentioned the name Edward Ford. My direct question to you is, besides Thomas Falla and Edward Ford flaunting the laws, using government resources for their private schools, what list of other lawmakers you are aware of, specifically with Montserrado County, are involved into the process of using county development funds either for their private schools or private hospitals?
If it were not for private schools or private hospitals, there were schools that didn't either exist, or two lawmakers may have had the same names in one school. That when we discovered that one made the whole thing into the public, because I'm detailed person. So I decided to do my due diligence. I had a long list and I started checking and made them angry. Can you imagine a school sending you this receipt? The ones that succeeded at school receipt. And not too many of them. Many of them. And
what are the names of the lawmakers associated with that scandal? I know Thomas Falla's name has been mentioned. Evidence has been shown. What are the lists of the other lawmakers associated with that scandal?
William Dake, There was a school called William Darker Vocational Training, and guess what? When they went there was no school building. There was one only place they said they had school, there no chair, nothing with it. Look, the list is long. That's why I say we've had sufficient time, and we go through this book. If you want a copy of this, let me know where I can get you. I'll give you one when you
We are
digest
interested
it.
in the list for now, if you can.
Yeah, okay, but I can't call all now. You know, I will not say now. Yeah, call. Let me. If I start calling them, I got a list of schools here. If you want me to call all
I'm
the
begging,
schools,
Madam Grace. Are you in particular? Are you looking for a specific name? Abula? Are you looking for a specific?
No, I'm not looking for a specific name. No.
Yeah,
I
because
only
she can't
want to
call all
know
the
others
names.
who were involved. Because I know they had.
Yeah.
we have
No, it's
17
okay.
lawmakers now. Except I go and read through all. But
Yeah,
most of the some of the schools were real schools. Was the idea of the scholarship when I went to the University of Liberia under the Palawa Hut and started reading student names, it was no small thing because people name were on a list that they didn't benefit from scholarship. Those are some of the problems we have. Look, we either do it right or we leave it. We either do it right or leave it. So if I could go the extra mile to do all of that, they should have just given me the opportunity to do it right. Because somebody can say, I need furniture for my office, but the furniture that crushed right, that cement, that sand, that steel. Come on.
But Madam Grace, let's put out some checks and information
Yeah.
can help us. I asked Dr.
Okay.
Richardson to just give me 2 minutes. It's very important. This information coming from Honorable Ford. He's sharing with us information that you can either speak to. I'm sorry, Mr. Johnny.
No
Nivi.
problem. No problem.
It's very important for us to run through this real quick. Number one, let's put this up. This is Mr. Ford letter to you. Do you recognize this letter?
I said a recent letter. Wait, I can read
the
it from.
letter said May 7, 2012.
No, there's no May 7. Ford did it in a few days. Why he didn't put it up when we started the EUE program? Don't mind that thing. That joke.
He did this in a few days and he put May 7 on it. All right.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to ask you. Okay, I'm going to ask
listen
you
to the
questions.
tip. If you listen to the tip, Ford will tell you who he is and what he does.
We are downloading the tape, madam.
Yes.
It's 21 minutes tape. We're gonna satisfy you tonight. We're gonna play the tape. Do you recognize a copy of these checks? Super Brother Incorporated, $12,000.
Super Brother. But Super Brother was the one that built a nuclear town hall. Super Brother was the one that built a nuclear town hall. Of course. Of course, I recognize it.
These are legitimate copies, correct?
Yeah. But what you see on it?
Okay. Now we are seeing Super Brother $12,000 Echo Bank, 2012 August.
You know what? You know what happened here? You know what happened? I need the original of this so I can show you the real one. I can tell you, give me that one, and I will show you the real check.
Okay, but it's on the screen. We got a lot of document coming in. There's questions coming. But
you see, I avoided some of the checks because anyway. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Before we ask the question, we want to display these checks, and then you can help us, please. This is Monserrato County, $487,500. November 30th, 2012. Central Bank of Liberia. Do you recognize this document, ma'am?
Yeah, I recognize this document. That's my development superintendent right there. That's his signature on it.
Correct. Can you talk to us about this money? We'll reveal to you the other document, then we'll come in with our question. Let's talk about this big chunk of money.
Nothing happened to this money. When Laman got this check, I very well wish I didn't call it. When the development superintendent got this check, he took it to I think one of the banks. I think the one he talked about. When I got to plenary, if you look in this book, you realize that issue was raised at plenary that we open a secret account. But I can guarantee you, if you find the documents for that check at the bank, I didn't go there to sign. I did not.
I agree.
Because that's not the procedure. The procedure is the Ministry of Internal Affairs supposed to be the one to do all the right things. So if you put a check in the bank and save it there, it's there, you go through the regular process. I would not go to the bank if the Minister of Internal Affairs does not send a letter that the account is not valid.
So
you show your check. What happened to the check? Nothing happened to it.
Can you repeat what you said? Was the account of valid account?
Come again?
What was the account of valid account? The account.
It was not valid because the process to open an account was not completed. So my development took
money.
The money, it went back to Montserrat County account. It went back to Montserrat County account. After I sued before the law, because those were the issues. And I got a letter here that I wrote to the development superintendent to go and take the money and put it in the county development account.
We will come to your letter because Honorable Ford is saying something different when it comes to this thing. I'm going to display the last information.
Yeah, he would just say anything right now.
I will display this. Yes, sir.
I will disagree with
Can you hold on 1 minute? Can you hold on? I'm going to bring you guys in. No. Maybe. Hold on 1 minute. There's a reason why we're showing all these documents. I will bring you on.
I got some of the same document if they are the real ones, right?
Madam Grace, July 1st, July 10th, 2012. You recognize this letter from Edo 4?
Except you read it, but I can't see anything from that distance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going
you can read it. You can read it so the public can have an
idea. It's best you read it.
I'm gonna read it. I'm sorry, and then from there we'll bring in Dr. Richardson, who can. This letter, just talk to us. It was written to Honorable Nelson, and can you tell us who Honorable Nelson was at the time, or who he is?
I know Blamo Nelson is supposed to be the Minister of Internal Affairs. So what did they say? I can't see. The prints are so very small. So if you are reading it by now, we'll finish reading it.
I try to make it bigger on my cell phone. I'm doing this from the
cell
phone.
Let me make it big on my screen and read it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Fagon is in our chat room. All these documents in our chat room. Help us. All right. So we're going to pause because it's important for us to now ask our question. You guys have the documents in the chat room. Sorry, Mr. Johnny. Maybe you are not in the chat room. So you got to wait after your probation, then you have access to our chat room. Dr. Francis, it's not there yet. Dr. Francis, can you come in? We are displaying these documents, and from there we'll move on.
Sure. Madam Pan?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, good. Some people have described you as temperamental, corrupt. You have a good sense of humor, task-oriented. How would somebody who knows you well describe you?
How what?
Somebody who
didn't get
knows
the last
you well,
one.
Somebody who knows you well describe you.
Very friendly, but no nonsense.
Thank you so much.
So my second question, friendly but no nonsense.
Yeah, that makes it short.
My second question to you is a hypothetical type question. Assuming that you and Dr. Monba are elected, and he begins to deviate from your platform, especially engaging in corruption and doing things that are not in the best interest of Liberian people, how would you respond to that as his vice president?
My words stay no longer with you.
Sing that again for me.
It was a goodbye, love.
World, stay no longer with you.
She said she's gonna leave. I like the old man.
Okay, thank you.
What else could I do? Yeah,
well, there are some people who have argued that the Constitution hold them to stay in a position, even though they disagree with the leader, their Senate bearer. So I just wanted to find out.
Dr. Richardson, you got 1 minute to go. You've been quiet.
Well, when you disagree, I always tell everybody, politics with all principle is a disaster. I cannot be part of an institution that we have a dream, we have a focus, and we get up the next morning, the dream has turned into something else. I don't want to believe we get to that point, but just in the event it happens, I'll be out. OUT.
Thank you. Let welcome. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
So my last question to you is, as superintendent of Montserrat County, what would you say was your greatest accomplishment and your least accomplishment? I'm asking you this question because I'm trying to figure out what you're going to contribute to Liberia once you become if you are elected to be the vice president.
One of what I accomplished was completing past projects from my predecessor. She left a couple of projects, and I have them all. Hello?
Yeah, I would like,
yes.
Such as, what did you complete?
Okay. Oh, okay. This is the nicest quarter and clinic in a place called Bondware, somewhere behind Riggs. Very at foundation level. And sometimes with a bad governance, will say, I didn't put it there, so I can't complete it. I don't believe in that. We had nice quarters as well. This is another project. This was the Bentall. This is what the Bentall administrative or superintendent compound. Even though I didn't live there, but you can see down here it's completed. This was in District 16. This was the original building here, and we carried to this. This is called a library. Actually, should have been. Then we have a bridge to a place called Novleton.
My can you answer then? Let me just. What was your least accomplishment then? What was your least accomplishment?
My least
regret
that we could not lay our hands on country and social development funding to be able to give the people what they actually needed. Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a sad.
Thank you, madam.
So let me read it.
Thank you. Hold on. I beg you. You will, Fagon, we'll come to you. I want to give Johnny a chance. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, the letter not from me, it's from Honorable 4. Let's bring in Johnny, our brother, Mr. Debbie, and we're going to welcome Mempe. Mempe, welcome to the show. Then we're going to do this thing about these document Fagon, then you can read that letter. We got a lot to discuss with Madam Kwan tonight. And I think we are getting there, folks. You are asking for it, we're going to give it to you. We'll be playing the recordings. The famous recording, talk about you eat, I eat. It's like you chop, I chop, go by chop. Or how you would term it.
He said, he conjugated well. I eat, you eat.
I eat, you eat. We eat. All of us eat. Nobody eat. We were explaining that. Johnny, talk to your VSB. Talk to your VSB, Johnny.
Thank you, Stanton. Thank you, Dr. Francis. So, I mean, Madam Grace Tee is actually the VP waiting to be inaugurated January 2024. Madam Kwan, I would like to ask this question. You serve as the superintendent of Montserrat County. Now that you're going to be serving as the vice president, and I know very well that you will have a direct oversight over the Ministry of Internal Affairs as the vice president per our current discussion we've been holding. How will you expect superintendents of counties to work with you to ensure that the counties benefit from the national budget?
Well, the first thing we'll have to fight for is to change that budget law if it is not changed. Where if you want to even drink water, you got to go to Internal Affairs, you got to sign a paper and raise it, then you go pick up your water. When you want gasoline, you got to wait for Internal Affairs. But the first thing we need to do, when you get that straightened out, then you know the superintendents are responsible people, and you will really make sure you have that oversight to ensure that what needs to be done is done. Many little things happen in communities, and everybody wants to run to president. Everybody wants to. These people are small presidents, in other words, in the little townships and cities and little one borough. So if you give them the opportunity, do you know the townships really have nothing in the budget? So you see all the townships looking remote, nothing there. Go look for the budget law during the time. When I was there, if Mr. Witherspoon, if you needed gas for your car, and Internal Affairs does not process, you go only pick up gas slip. Yeah, nobody should tell you this superintendent managed Montserrat County account. To that extent, your money that in the budget is there, but unfortunately, so when I have to do, that's one of the first things we want to change, if they haven't changed it, so that superintendent can have the edge to work as they want to. You not be coming to Monrovia for everything. You way in Maryland, you got to come to Monrovia for gas slip. It's hard.
Thank you very much. Johnny have only one question because we understand that he's your party member. So we're not giving too much free time tonight.
Interesting.
Say that again.
I have a B to this question. I have a question. I have a B to this question.
I ask your B, my friend.
So my B is Madam Pan, again, as a local government expert serving as a superintendent of Montserrat County. How will you expect the national budget to include counties, districts, so that the national budget becomes a holistic and participatory and an inclusive government budget in the document?
Well, it was in a way, but unfortunately, funding was not decentralized. Everything was scattered over the place. There has been no decentralization, so you have everybody in your head, and that's what made it so difficult that anybody can just call one superintendent one day. You go to Capitol building, and look at you for long and say you're not governmental material. You should go to jail. And look at you the other way, you're not doing the one. Everybody controlled you. It was a difficult thing to live along with that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we bring in our sister Gono, I'd like to ask you again. All my questions and what I'm putting up is from what Mr. Ford is sending to us. I don't think it's necessary to bring him on. We will have a day with Mr. Ford. But if he insists, then he can call in. He sent us this information. I don't know whether Dama has it ready. In the amount of $261,620. You remember that amount?
That's a blatant lie. That's a all thing that meant.
Do you remember this?
Stanton, if Paul had all of these things, this has been 10 years. This is his first time showing it. He listened to the tip. The man said, "You just bring the document." This one is another lie. We have friendly comments. Every money from Montserrat County goes to Montserrat County account.
So the question is, this is from the China Union Social Development Fund, $261,620. Asking who authorized this spending? You remember the 261,000, or there was nothing like 261,000? I
see it vividly and can read it. Then if I can read it and say what it is, these are all beautiful things. Look like it from Montserrat County, but because I wear very strong glasses, I need to really read and see and understand before I speak to something. Right,
thank you. I'm going to ask Dama. Dama, can you please give it to Mr. Johnny Nibe? Mr. Johnny, can you please send it over to Madam Grace? I do not have her contact, and then she will review these things. All of the document Dama share with her, please. Now, let me bring in Abula Meme to ask his question because it was very important. He worked at the bank. Then we'll bring in Meme Gono. Abdullah or Abula?
Yeah. So, Superintendent or Vice President waiting, whatever they call it, said the account at the bank, she tried to describe it as an illegal account. It was not an illegal account.
No. Let's get it right. I did not say. I say it's not finalized until it's processed by the Minister of Internal Affairs.
She said it wasn't a valid account. A valid account. That's the word she used. Valid account.
Yes, because it has not been fully completed. Did I come to sign?
So
did I come to sign?
No,
answer that question first. Did I come to sign?
I'm coming. I wanted
to. You coming here? I seen you. Then you say you coming.
So the point I wanted to. Okay, I'll go in.
Okay, go. We'll see you tomorrow.
The account was a valid account. I don't hold you for corruption or dubious action on opening the account.
Of course you won't, because I was not dubious.
Yeah, so that's the reason why you don't have to be paranoid when I'm talking about the account.
No, Papa, I'm not paranoid.
No, but when you keep coming across in the process of me saying what I know about the account, it suggests as if you're paranoid and don't want me to say something. And I'm saying,
what do you know about the account, Mr. Mame? What do you know about that account? Were you at the bank at the time?
Yes, the bank had a program for public sector resource mobilization. I was placed ahead of that particular initiative to raise account in the public sector. Monserrado County account was one of the accounts that we work with. Grace Kpa was aware about the process of opening the account. She authorized her development superintendent, which is legal. It's
no,
legal.
no, forget it. No. Don't tell everyone it's legal. Now yes, explain the story.
She authorized her development superintendent to move the account to First International Bank that I work with, and I was responsible for public sector resource mobilization. What happened was, like she regularly said,
No. That's wrong.
Okay, Madam Grace, we'll come to you, Mama. Please. Let just go ahead, finish up, Mama. This is interesting because I get the information also.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me just work on that. Finish up, and we'll share this next one.
So the point I wanted to send you is the account was not a dubious account. The account was not an invalid account. The account was a valid account. Grace,
are you saying that she authorized the account?
She authorized.
Is that what you just said?
But Santon, if she did not authorize the account, that is close to 500,000. Why?
No. Hold on. Don't come with B yet. We just lost her. Let she come back. Fagon, are you hearing what I'm hearing? He worked at the bank. Dr. Rich is saying, and Madam Grace said no. What's a valid account? And you're not saying that she authorized it. So we need her back. We're going to pause on Mempe.
We don't have an eyewitness. This is not an eyewitness alone. This is the guy who opened.
Who worked at the bank.
I was responsible for public sector resource mobilization.
You hear it? So we're not going to hear they say. And that was why it was important that I read that issue, because that letter to Blambo Nelson from the Monserrado County Legislative Caucus was written to Blambo in May. The money was withdrawn in November. So it's like I'm telling you, pour her on this thing until we can settle it. You pour her on it, you take it.
So folks,
she has a lot of explaining to
do. So she's coming back. Yeah, she's back. She's back.
Yeah, I'm back now. I didn't hear most of what was said.
Yeah, madam, just hold on 1 minute. So our brother Abula from the Gonglo camp saying that you authorized the account, and I will allow him to finish, then you can speak, please. Then Fagon will read the letter.
Okay,
we're going to come to Mempe. Mempe, please, bear with us. Abula, go ahead.
The account was not a criminal account. It was legal. Superintendent Kpa at the time was in the full knowledge of the opening of the account. She authorized her development superintendent to deposit the money. We prepared the signature sheets. They signed, and those signature sheets accompanied the opening of the account. I think when she went to the Senate and the legislature, right, House of Representatives, when they raised the issue, she probably thought to distance herself from the account. For what reason, I don't know. But the account was a legitimate account. The bank will not go into the process of opening a criminal account, especially on a central bank of Liberia check. No bank in Liberia will violate.
No, so we'll come to that. Meme, my question to you, you are now telling us that Madam Grace Kpa, sitting in studio, by way of this means, she authorized that account. She said it wasn't a valid account.
It was a valid account. She knew about it. It was open on her authorization by her development superintendent. The money in the account lasted there for more than 6-7 months. If Grace Kpa was against the opening of the account, she would have taken action immediately. That is up to 500,000.
So let's give Madam Grace the chance to speak, please. We're going to pause. We're going to mute ourselves. Madam, you have the time, ma'am.
Okay, let me say right. The account. Well, that account can only become functional finally when the Minister of Internal Affairs writes. When that was not done, that account was not fully completed. Because this superintendent is not principal A, nor is she principal B. So an account without a letter from the Minister of Internal Affairs will sit there as long as we wanted it to sit there until the proper thing was done. At this time, we're already in a fight. We're already in a fight. If you don't know, we're already in a fight. So did anybody take the money from them? No. Did anybody eat that money? No. So what's the issue about that? That's no bad issue. There's no issue here.
So, Madam Grace Ban, it will help us, Liberian. You are running for the second highest office in the land. I must bring in Mr. Ford. Abula worked at the bank. He's saying you authorized the account. I'm sorry, we lost her. Let's just squeeze in Mr. Ford real quick. It will help the discussion. Chairman Byron, do we have Mr. Ford?
No. Yes, he's
Right,
on the
so
line.
then you
He's
single
on the
again.
line.
Come on. Don't slow walk, man. Let's talk. Bring in Mr. Ford.
All right. Because we were making the preparation here for him to come on. Good evening, Mr. Ford.
Good evening. Good evening.
I want you to increase the volume of Mr. Ford, please, and we can talk to him. We'll try to get Madam Ford or Madam Kwan back on the show. Mr. Ford, can you hear us? This is Stanton. How are you, sir?
Loud and clear.
I'm good, Mr. Ford. Thank you. Sorry to bring you in at this time. It's not what I do, but let's try to correct something. We have Madam Grace Tee Kpa on the show. You are watching the show. First of all, can we talk about this check? The opening of the account at Central Bank in the amount of 487,500.
Yes, I can talk about it.
Tell us what you know about that check and the opening of that account, please.
That check was meant to siphon county money to Grace Bank's own use. There are accounts in the name of the county that was operated by Grace Bank.
Mr. Ford.
So what must be there for?
Mr. Ford.
Take that particular money.
Let Mr. Ford turn his volume down a little bit.
Yes.
Something playing in the back.
Let me just bear with me for 1 second. I'm not getting you to put in the phone. Okay, let me take it down. Hello?
Yes. Chairman Byron, raise his volume, please. We can hear him better now.
Would
you can hear me now?
Yeah, sir. Kindly reduce the volume. Turn your radio off. You are
I'm not
going
hearing
to
you
get
through my phone.
Yeah, you are going to get what the CEO and the others are saying because we have the headset, playing. So we have that. You listen to the conversation through the headset, sir.
Is it that bad?
Yeah. Just turn off your radio and you get everything that is being said through the headset.
I'm still not hearing you through the phone. I'm going to turn off the radio now.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting you through the phone.
Just go ahead, sir. You hear
The
everything.
radio is down.
Just go ahead. You hear everything.
Can you hear me?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ford. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, speaking. I'm not hearing you at all.
Damon.
Working on that.
Damon, send me Mr. Ford. Tell him say I call him. Let me call him. I'm sorry, Madam Parent. It's very important to clear this thing. You have a lot of folks watching you. Let's just
it would be good if you play the tip, then you will get a real story. So you won't be dwelling on one check that nobody ate. It's simple.
Yes, we're going to play the tip. That we will do after this conversation, man.
Then you will hear on that tip that nobody ate Montserrat County money. That Superintendent Pan did not take Montserrat County money.
Damo, are we good?
You want me to play mine?
Are we good?
We're working on it.
So while you do that, while we do that, go ahead, Madam Grace. Talk to us, please.
Yes. Listen to the tip.
Okay, so the meeting stands for the marathon class?
Yes. The class, you, me, and Joseph is your sponsor.
Okay.
It's about 9:30.
Yeah, okay, so I did the resolution for the meeting. But you will see it so you can look through.
Yeah, bring everything along with you now to
Madam Grace, we're going to play from the studio.
Have our small meeting.
Madam Grace, let's play from the studio, please, because they have work on it. We're going to play from the studio, please. Just bear with us. It's important that we do. It's not coming in well from your end. We'll play from the studio. But can you talk to us before we bring in Mr. Ford back? You were speaking about this authorization and the account, and we have someone that work at the bank saying that you authorize the opening of that account.
This is the story. This is the real story. When the check was, the development superintendent is principal A of Montserrat County. Are you getting me? The PMC is principal B. The bank of the Ministry of Finance will call the development superintendent, you have a check here. The young man called me, look, so and so bank, whichever bank I can remember, IB or First IB or something, want us to open an account. And I cannot keep this check. We can do it, we can take it to the bank, blah, blah, blah. So the process started. The ending of the process was not finalized. If you want to save government check, you could have maybe opened it, taken it, and put it in one bank, and the next day you finish withdrawing the money. He can attest to it. Nobody took that money. If you read what the House told us to do, and that which I did, please be informed that I have mandated, the Honorable House have mandated us that we consolidate the account so we could have one account instead of having two fundings, even though we had China at a different point. So when that account was open, what was remaining to finalize that account, and there's no way you could have withdrawn from that account if the Minister of Internal Affairs did not send a letter. That's period. Nothing extra on it. Nothing. If you listen to that tape,
so CEO, 1 minute, Mr. Ford on the line now.
So how is it difficult for you to admit that you authorize? What will happen to you when you say yes? Authorize?
No. I'm not saying that I was not in the know. I'm saying when the development superintendent received that check and decided to take it to the bank and told me it was a fine idea because we were having fight. So the only solution to that check was to safekeep it. And the ending of that process was supposed to be the Minister of Internal Affairs. What other English can I speak? I mean, it's clear. So did somebody did somebody eat the check? Right. Did somebody take the money? No.
All right. So let's do this. This is a talk show. This is the Spoon Talk. We're going to bring in. I'm sorry to disappoint you folks. I just don't feel good bringing Mr. Ford on.
But I think Mr. Witherspoon, you need to play that tape. You need to play that tape, then you have a balance.
Yes, I will play the tape. But again, I will ask you, Madam Grace. I don't want to put you in a situation. Mr. Ford will have his day on Spoon Talk. Your party is introducing you, and it is fair for every one of us to give you the time for you to make the case for your party. All right. We will bring in Mr. Ford, and he can debunk your statement today and tell the real story from his end if you believe there's a real story. But we won't do this. We have to protect you. You are the guest. We will have a show, and then we'll bring in Mr. Ford whenever he's ready. So, Diamond, this is okay. We will show the clip, and we'll schedule another time to bring in Mr. Ford.
Hello?
We have to be fair to Madam Grace back on the show today. All right. So let's move ahead. Mempeg Gono, talk to us. Welcome to the show, and then we'll do another roundtable of this conversation. Mempeg, go ahead, Mama.
Thank you, CEO, and good evening to you and our distinguished panel. I hope everybody is having a good day. To Honorable Grace Tee, I want to say congratulations on your selection as Vice Senate Bureau. To Dr. Monimba, this must be exciting times for you. I see you in the studio fiery and defending your record in public service. It's good to be on here with you today.
Hey, femininity.
So,
ask a question. You want to, sister, Madam Grace is not supporting JMB. You cannot take her to support JMB.
Hey, let us protect her now. Let's protect her.
I know, but I must congratulate her. To see women being put forward is a good thing. Honorable Kwan, I would just like to get some clarity on two things. Number one, are you aware of your implication in the GSC audit report concerning the Montserrat County Development Funds?
Oh yeah, I got a copy of that report, so I'm aware.
All right. In that report, you are implicating for mismanagement of the funds, which subsequently led to your removal by Her Excellency Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Your removal, the president has the right under our constitution to remove anyone from public service, including myself. I was removed by her, but your removal was based on the management or mismanagement of the Monserrato funds. And that is something I would like for you to throw a light on. And secondly, while I'm here, let me just give all of my points. Your time as superintendent of Monserrato, there was a lot of infighting with you and the stakeholders. I mean, there were several superintendents who served, some of them. I remember the tenure of Madame Conglo, but with you in Monserrato, there was a lot of infight, accusations and counter accusations with the lawmakers. I even remember a point in time where you were held in contempt in order to go to the South Beach, but the women of Liberia vehemently opposed that. So with such divided country, we'll talk about reconciliation. We're talking about our ability to bring the country together with the kind of temperament you have, shown in the past. And with all of this rigmarole, this infighting, you fighting the lawmakers, your stakeholders over the development funds, how are we sure that you can be that leader that helps to bring our country together and help to defend accountability? Because let me tell you something about this. Let's play the tape. You eat, I eat. There's a public perception that Edward Ford, as an opposition lawmaker, was framed. That he's not the only person that I've had a type of conversation with you. It's debatable that he was just framed to, print this picture and maybe be used in these times that you're running for office. So with the accountability issue being indicted by the GSC, the banking information we see here, I don't know where you stand when it comes to accountability and being corruption free. And at the same time with reconciliation, with the kind of fighting we've seen, where you've even been ordered held in contempt by the host to order a woman to South Beach for her temperament, is something that bothers me. And my parting note, in this round, now that I'm leaving now, when we talk about the issue of the superintendent not having, I know you said when you said that you're expert in that area, according to Johnny, and that if you were ever given the opportunity to come to power, you will ensure that the superintendents don't run for every little thing to internal affairs. I think what I would propose that later on a JMB-led government, when things are stabilized, that we allow the superintendents to be elected as they should be. Then it gives them that freedom to be able to exercise their duties, and then there can be decentralization of power. Because if you come to mineral-rich Nimba and we preside over all of those resources, we cannot just be begging anybody for bread. So I think the issue of decentralization also has to do with the ability of the superintendents to be elected as our lawmakers are. But let us go right back. Let me recap with all of the in-house fightings we've seen with you. How can you reconcile our country? And with you being implicated in the GSC report, I would like you to lay light on that for our audience tonight. Thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you. Okay, let me start with the issue of superintendent election. That election should have taken place 2014. When lawmakers have oversight of county money, it will always be a fight. Nobody can stop that. It will always be a fight. My predecessor was fought, and I was fought. Don't you think something wrong was going on?
No, excuse me, Madam, I'm not holding you for that. I'm just making that proposal in the future. I want you to speak about the GSC report, and I want
let me speak. Wait, you still say everything now, so I'm coming one by one. The second issue was the GSC report. This is the corruption we are talking about in our country. This is what I presented to Mr. Tyler, and I will just read the ending. However, though we are honoring your honorable mandate to proceed with the process as is, we maintain our lack of confidence in the process and hope that future auditing process will note our stance. Do you know, when GSC started the audit, I gave GSC all the documents. They refused. These documents, after we met the president and she told them to give me copies, I took my time and I photocopied them. When they went to the county office, they said that they didn't have documents. If GSC want to be honest, they will tell you, I give them the document. If I had something to hide, I would not have given it to them. One auditor called one time, Manakman, you received $300,000. I said, in my dream. I immediately went to the bank got a statement, but then I forgot for the people to stamp it. So when I got there, the guy wasn't there, and then I showed it, and somebody, no, I didn't show it then. Then I realized that it wasn't stamped. So I went back to the bank. I said, could you please stamp it to authenticate that this is from the bank? 300,000 Liberian dollar for what they call, we have meeting with the local authorities. So when they come, you give them transportation, you give them feeding, and so on and so forth. You buy your water. That's the only money you will control as a superintendent. Other than that, nothing else. So if the auditors could do that, I counted them all the way. There was a project that was dedicated by the president. The president is standing there dedicating the project, cutting the ribbon. The GSC auditor said there was no project, and I showed them that there was a project. Look, our country, the corruption we got to fight, we're taking it for baby play. This is the Kpa Estate playground with the president dedicated this project. The GSC report came and said there was no project. I had to be going with them back to back. Look, Liberia, when we do things the wrong way, we call it a Liberian way, and that's totally unacceptable. Misinformation and lies would not do anything for our country. I don't have wings. I'm not an angel, neither do I have horns or being a devil. But I know I'm a person of character and principle. I stood my ground with these lawmakers, and because I stood with them to the letter, so therefore bringing people, maybe he took them from the country now, the one that they couldn't get a lawmaker. So he got people to show. The auditors will say what they wanted to say. When we heard that they were bribed, nothing came out of it. So I fought as much as I could. Am I the one who did what they didn't want? Yes, they were not happy, so they had to fight. I did not resign because I was harsh with them. If you listen to the tape, go to ERBC and whichever station that took that thing, I took that stage, I stood up well, and I spoke. And I had a lawyer. I won the case in Supreme Court. Did they reinstate me? Did they give me anything back? I said, look, I don't want any fuss, any fight. Let these people go ahead with the government. I got my Supreme Court ruling. It's here. It's here. That other report, they wanted it the way they wanted it. Because I gave every piece of document. I can defy anybody from Most County. I gave one paper. They all refused and said they didn't have some. So if I was giving it, I was giving it to sell myself. I was giving it because I know I've done well.
Thank you very much, Madam Grace Tee. Thank you. Guys, let's try to wind this thing down. It's 6:30 yet in America. That will be 10:30 in Liberia. Eastern time, by the way, in America. Dr. Richardson, I see you want to come on. We're going to go to Eugene Fagon. We're going to ask our last question, and then we can open the phone line. Dr. Richardson?
Madam Pam, what do you think about the lawmakers receiving $30,000 for legislative engagement?
With you mean as per the budget?
Yes.
That's a waste of our country resources. Honestly speaking, I just calculated to you. If a lawmaker gets $15,000 and you calculate by our present rate, it takes $2,665,000. If you divide that by the number of police officers that make $100, we are talking about 100 police officers pay from one lawmaker. Our lawmakers are not fair to us. They want too much. And even with that, when it comes to the Bill County and Social Development Fund, they are all into it. It's not right. It's just not right. So, the city chair, I know everything in most right. When I see I can identify it, don't worry, I will tell you I know it. I don't have to lie to anybody. We had 10 years to defend that. You're not coming to show them paper. You don't care the GSC. You won't show it now. I still got my book. I'd get a book to the House of Parliament. They took it through it once. They even accused my school of getting scholarship. But hey, when the other report came out, my school name was never there because I know who I am and I will not do anything to embarrass my family. Never will I do that. And somebody still owed me an apology. They said they didn't find my school name in that report. Maybe Paul will soon bring one with me.
Yes, Stanton.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Stanton,
no, we'll come to you, Mr. Johnny. Let's do this thing as a roundtable, please. Dr. Richardson, you have your second question?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Let's go to Honorable Fagon.
My question, I hope, will be brief and quick. Madam, you built a church near the bridge in Caldwell. Do you recall getting paid by the government for that church? And you fought with some public works workers over the demolition of the church, and that you came back to build, and they told you, hey, you can't do that. You remember telling them that the people paid for the church, but they did not pay for the land, and that you built back on the land after government had paid you for the church? Can you clarify the whole issue about the church incident in Caldwell? That's my first question.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Praise the Lord. Amen. Mr. Fango, when you purchase a piece of land, you get what they call a deed. We were all owning that land for over 12 years. When the Ministry of Public Works came to erect the bridge, they broke down the church. The very spot the bridge is on is what the church is where the church was situated. That space was paid for. There is nobody who government has come and take up a portion of your land and the remaining portion goes to government. It does not work that way. If you want a land, you must buy it. Government bought land from people. They deed you. The deed is signed, it's registered and probated. But when government is building roads and they cut portion of your house, do they carry the rest? Do they carry the remaining portion of your house? No, they don't. So one lawmaker came, I don't want to call his name, and said they want to build a police station. And we said no. There was an agreement, and that's a whole, you want a document? I got it, I will give it to you. There was a whole document signed by CEO, the company that erected the bridge. When the company went to them to use our space, they sent the company to us. So we told them, look, the only thing we want you to do is to put a fence around the remaining portion of the land and compact it with it. CEO did. CEO left two structures. When the bridge was completed,
that's the internet,
I would
folks.
still like to know.
That's the internet.
Yeah, and then my second question will have to do with the letter that was written. Was supposed to read that letter for a whole. It will interest you to note, and I don't know if I should say it. I think I should chat with Stanton in the back before.
But can you read it while she's not here so that we can have an idea?
No,
It's in the chat room. Read the letter. It's in the chat room.
It's a public.
It's in the chat room. Read it. But let me ask you.
Has to do with an individual name, and I don't know. I'll seek second advice from Stanton behind the scene, because I don't know if I should put that individual name out, whether it'll be risky or not. I don't know. But
you can read the letter.
I didn't find
okay, you want me to read the letter? I can read it.
Yes.
Yeah, I go ahead. Ask your question.
The letter was written on July 3rd, 2012. Honorable Blambo Nelson, he was then the Minister of Internal Affairs, and the letter said, "Dear Honorable Nelson, I am pleased to present my compliments and to inform you that the Montserrado County Legislative Caucus is planning an inspection of all ongoing projects under the County Development Fund, period. We therefore request that you hold all further payments to contractors until project status is verified by the superintendent, the project management committee, and the legislative caucus, in which case you will be duly notified in similar manner." It's after that we saw the deposit of the check of $487,000 in the month of November. So between July and November, my question will be, what happened in between there, since in fact Blambo was instructed by the legislative caucus to hold on to all these things, and yet and still we saw the deposit of the check to the tune of $487,000 in the month of November. Can you clarify?
Yeah, but I don't think there was a problem. We're already fighting. I said we were fighting and we had to secure what was available. The only completion was needed was for the minister to sign and that account became active. Until then, that account remained inactive until we were mandated by the House to consolidate. I got a letter here. I wrote my development superintendent and said, the people said, we should consolidate the account. It was consolidated. It left there, and you can ask them what they did with it when I left.
So that brings me now to the real question. So are you going to be fighting when you become vice president and preside over the Senate? Since, in fact, you have had brushing with the legislators?
I will fight corruption. I will fight corruption 24/7, 365.
So
what's the corruption? I will fight.
So we'll hold all the project in there before the.
You will hold it?
But ain't you hold the project in your 40?
Because a lot. You see, Frank, what you're supposed to be saying here is, why were the lawmakers so no, check it. Why were the lawmakers so into this project? Do you know we deprived the people of Marcoffey Township, the people of Todi District, schools and clinics? When kids were walking 2 hours to school, if you listen to the tape, he said the so-called Monrovia District, if your main lawyer would divide the money into 17, we will benefit. Listen to that tape. Listen to that tape. If you listen to that tape, you won't have the cost.
Madam Grace, let's just listen to a portion of the tape because you called him for the tape. We got to wrap this thing up. We got 22 minutes to go. The tape runs for 21 minutes, I believe. Diamond, are you ready? Let's listen to a portion of the tape, please.
I suggest when you finish, you take it home and listen well.
They will bring their 3 people along when they come in. Yes, they will be informed. They are informed. I will remind them tomorrow in session. Okay. And they will bring their 3 people along when they come in. People really need that money, huh? Come again? People really need that money. We just the time of people. So other counties. Yeah, they mismanage that money.
Yeah, but most of the counties are not mismanaging money, so at least they should.
I think we always try to do something and they will come and interpose. People really need that money, huh?
Come again?
People really need that money. We just the time of people. So other counties. Yeah, they mismanage that money.
Yeah, but most of the counties are not mismanaging money, so at least they should.
I think we always try to do something and they will come and interpose. Out of the 2.39, we were likely 2.5. Out of the 2.39, we were likely 2.5. Yeah. The project or their field, their everything, we'll try to work on 2.5. If there's any emergency or anything, then we throw it somewhere. If not, we'll throw some other people somewhere. Other people who working. Yeah. The project or their field, their everything, we'll try to work on 2.5. If there's any,
all right, we cannot go follow. Thank you very much, Chairman Byron, for playing portion of that clip. Guys, let's wrap this thing up. I understand Johnny wants us to play everything. Johnny, we will put this clip on our pages, our different Spoon pages for folks to listen, those that never had the chance to. Damo, please put it up, upload it on our page, all of the Super, Fabric, and Spoon. Let folks have the time to listen. Mr. Gibson.
So you let me ask my second question again?
You say your second?
Yes, you say you ask your 2 and we'll move on. My second question had to do with
already.
My second question had to do with the stand-up bearer himself, since she's a godly woman. He's not married yet, but he's had a girlfriend for 18 years, we're told, that he has a child, and all that. I wanted for her to tell me how that affects her religious standing.
What that have to do with the woman being a VSB?
No, we never had a single president.
That's the only person running for the highest 1 or 2 offices. You have another person that ain't married yet, but the person gets married. So,
we ain't married. We're not taking risks.
But remember, don't put me in your situation, man.
Thank you, big brother.
Your current vice president, your current vice president is single. So what are you talking about?
But you are married.
Look, please don't take your time.
Let's move forward. Let's move forward.
There are a lot of young people who say, "Is she?"
Eugene, please stop eating my time. Let me say this. I'm not speaking now as a politician or a supporter of a politician. I'm speaking now in my capacity as someone who dealt with political leaders, politicians, leaders of our country in the past, for the past 37 years, as a journalist, as an editor, as a managing editor. Madam Ban, I believe that Mr. Ford is trying to get back at you.
Of course, yes.
And I think he's not the right messenger. He's the wrong messenger. He's the worst messenger. An opposition politician called.
When you listen to the then you.
No, I know the whole story. I know the whole story. I attended the press conferences. I know the whole story. An opposition calling the vice juror of the president. Vice juror of the president means the person who the president habits, and you discussing things like that, you know, you're going to come out. And so when it came out, he thought that it was Madam Ban who tried to, set him up, and that's the way the story has been going. But this is the problem I have for you, Madam Ban. I think you come across authentic, but you are too tough, and you are being misunderstood as somebody who is angry all the time. And this has come all the time. I visited your office before. You don't know, maybe you can remember that. I dealt with you a couple of occasions, conferences.
You're not recognizing Madam Pan because he's ugly. So let's move on.
Yeah, I'm ugly, man. So most people don't recognize me. But look, here's what I want to tell you, Madam Ban. I feel like in Liberia, when women try to be tough, the men try to undercut them. I will stand with Madam Ban on this one. Dr. Ford need to sit down and stop talking these things, because he was a greedy man trying to look for money for himself. This story, Stanton, I followed this story. In fact, my story published this story until to the end. My newspaper published this story, so I know the story too well. But like Madam Gono said earlier, she stressed a very good point, that it is troubling that you are going to be fussing with people all the time and you want to be a leader. There are some things you don't have to fuss with people. Especially as a female, you have to be a peace-oriented person. And that's the only words I can leave with you today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Let me bring in Abula.
Thank you.
Abula.
2 questions. Madam Kpa, the first one is, to your credit, when I spoke about the bank, I did not do it to accuse you. I only did it to put the record straight. When we started the public sector resource mobilization, we met you. I did a presentation at your office. To your credit, you asked, if we move account to your bank, we have all these employees. Will you create an LPA? And I asked you, what do you mean by LPA? You said, like, credit, where to be able to get credit from the bank. So those were conversations we had. And to your credit, your employees were your priority in those conversations. The account at the bank was legitimate. It was not a dubious account. And like she said, movements on the account did not occur until they authorized the consolidation of the account. I just wanted to put those information out and to speak to the record that the account was authorized by Madam Grace Kpa. It was not a criminal account. And she needed to take that position at the legislature at the time the issue came up. When she tried to backpedal a little bit, that's how the legislature thought that there was something criminal around it, and they decided to run all around. I want to, since she's the vice presidential candidate, I want us to look at where we are as a country. 12 years up to 2017, the United Party government left a debt of 874 million. Between 2017 to 2022, the George Weah administration added 1.1 billion debt to our debt stock. We are borrowing the future of the next generation. We are indebting the future of the next generation who will come and meet debt rather than assets to move forward with. So I want to take this discussion from you as an individual to a more policy perspective on what are you thinking, what your party, your political party thinking in terms of managing our debt portfolio, in terms of reducing debt and increasing assets. And all the things we've borrowed for, we borrow to eat and go to the toilet. We cannot see specific investment for all these debts. What's your strategy? Liberians want to hear you today to manage the debt stock, but more than that, to be able to invest monies with credit into growth corridors rather than to just borrow credit, eat, and go to the toilet.
Okay. I think one of what would be good for us to do is to our standard bearer has the ability to reach out there. We're not going to just look for credit because we are already in debt, but we could also revisit most of the concessions that were signed. Look for the good ones, take the meat of the bone, throw the bone away, and then we can say we're starting a new pay. Because at the end of the day, if we have all these bad concessions and it's bringing us nothing, that is a problem as well. So the resources for this country, I will use a biblical terminology. We plunder the resources in order to rebuild the walls. We will find it from everywhere. There are resources. We will have to put some pressure on some of the concessionaires. We have Firestone Rubber Plantation Company in this country. We have had it for years. But the rubber band you tie your money will come from either Malaysia or China. If we cannot produce, we will be called poor. Any country that does not produce is a poor country. We have to find a way to start production and put pressure on some of our concessionaires so that they can be able to do production so that we can see the increase in our budget and our economic system. Am I on?
Yeah. I think it should be the next person's question, right?
Yeah.
We can hear you. Who's next? I don't know who's next. Did
It
everybody get?
depends. No, it's on Johnny and I, but you decide who go next.
Johnny, did you? Oh, Stanton, you back. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
Stanton.
Johnny will take us home with his VSB. Let Mempe go ahead, and we'll bring Johnny in last. Mempe.
Yeah, thank you. Honorable Kwan, when you were at the Workers Union at MPA, I know you do recall there was also issue there where some members of the union pointed to corruption, but I wouldn't dwell on it because there was not a verdict or there was not an audit done. But the audit with the GAC, I hear you dismissing the auditor's report. And for someone who was indicted to dismiss the auditor's report is common, but it's not acceptable. It's like saying 2 years from now, we audit this outgoing CDC government, and they tell us, what you want to say about the auditors, the GAC? They're all corrupt. The auditors don't know where we put them. Will we accept that? There were other people who worked in government, and there were check barriers put in place. They were not audited internally, nor at the level of the GAC. And we salute those people who worked and went without audit. For you to have served your country in such a controversial circumstances, with audit reports indicting you, and you come here to dismiss the auditors, I'm taking it back. I'm sorry. I pity the conditions of those who will buy into it. We saw Rick Monroe with you in the legislature, counter accusations, and I do not think it's only me. With our thousands of viewers on the Spoon and its networks tonight, I know you have not cleared the doubts of those viewers when it comes to the issue of integrity. There are other reports, and you say, oh, I don't mind those people. One of them called me on the phone. It is not enough. You will have to do a lot more to show our people that you were free. You had to have fought that audit report over the years. Number two, before I depart from you guys, just let me add my voice to Big Brother Gibson. When he tell you about the issue of temperament, this has nothing to do with women. Gibson, I'm taking it back a little bit by that. It is not that women are temperamental or women should not overly assert themselves. I'm a woman who feels that when it's necessary, you must assert yourself. But the issue of temperament, and it's not just Edward Ford, we're flanking Edward Ford here tonight. To have had a vote that will be able to send you to Saw Beach for contempt, it had to take more than Edward Ford. And this kind of temperament, you are expected to be vice president. I don't care what people think about the role of vice president based on their own lack of knowledge of our political understanding and our constitution that we must protect. The vice president, as inscribed in our constitution, must ably assist the president when asked. And when you preside over those sections, I don't even know if you have the temperament to do so without getting into the deliberations, because that's what you're supposed to do, quietly preside and come in when there's a tie breaking. So when people are naive to our political understandings or working and think that, oh, the vice president do this and do that, it doesn't happen like that. You are already inspiring fear. As someone who is supposed to assist Honorable Moneyba carry all his duties. And this has nothing to do with corruption, because I don't know cases where Madam Salif was, accused of corruption and her vice president and her did not fight. But I'm just saying the temperament has nothing to do with gender. That I know some men who are quite temperamental. But I want you to know, as we leave tonight, I congratulate you as a woman, but me and a lot of those listening are not clear with the issues of this counter accusation or with an outstanding GSC report as a candidate that you have not successfully fought. And other people have served without GSC report and indictments. I don't know what will we say if people from the CDC who were indicted come out and dismiss those reports and say, you don't mind those auditors. We must not be double standard in our politics for change. So I wish you the best of luck, but I hope that you can come back with some vindication from those reports that makes sense, and that our people can see that you served with honor. Thank you. And I wish you the best.
We serve and we serve well. Look, there is something about our society. A single woman was fighting 103 men in the House of Parliament. It didn't need hugging and kissing. It didn't need petting and playing. When you are fighting corruption, you fight it with all your strength. But besides, the issue that was taken to GSC, like I said earlier, I gave GSC the document. Why did I give it to them? The GSC ready to go through whoever the auditors were. We need to get maybe external auditor to do this audit. Then you will get a real report, because I can tell you for free. If you worked with me before, then you wouldn't say I'm temperamental. But when I get into certain situation, what led me to even recording? The constant harassment, the constant intimidation. If you don't do this, then I'll do that. If you don't do that, look. If I didn't have that tip, I heard somebody on the other show saying, article, something say it's illegal to record. Well, that's a whole long different story. But at least I got my point out. The world will know that I stood for something. Why was I fighting? I was fighting for something that people should have justly benefited from. I fought for it at Freeport for my workers. They got the benefits. They got the allowances. They got the whatever. I will fight wherever office I stand in. I will not be corrupt. I can never be corrupt. There is no corruption in my book. I don't care what those auditors say. Well, it left with us. I hope there's, I don't know why you're a legal person, but I hope there's a legal way to get external auditor that would take those documents that I personally presented to them to audit. If I didn't give them a document, guess what? There would have never been an audit. There would have never been an audit. But I gave it to them. Why? Because I knew I was clear. And I have no fear. I have no remorse to say, oh, this and that. No. I'm not temperamental. When you get me to the place, when you get me off edge, every human being gets to his last nerve. Especially with this, Ms. Ono, if you were in my position and under the condition that I went through, you won't believe what happened. So maybe I wish I have an opportunity, because I show you on our side. You're not on that side.
I want to clear you, because you're a public figure. I hear you making your case tonight, but with the audit report, people are not going to get past that report. So the same way you put every energy to fighting them, I think you should put that energy
now that I know, because I got that audit in bits and pieces. Nobody gave me a copy. I got it in bits and pieces. Nobody gave me a copy. I ran after it. I went to LACC. I walked there. I got tired. I walked that I got tired. I got pieces. After they brought all the other stuff and I answered with the final report, I heard it on air. And I tried to get bits and pieces. It was unfair to me. Why didn't you give me copy? When I gave you documents, you see, then you think I'm temperamental. This is the country we live in. Look, Liberia has to change, and it takes change people. I know I'm not a
Thank you.
rude person, but I mean, I don't allow people to just play with my character and my integrity. That doesn't work.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. Dr. Richardson, you want to go, then we go to Johnny.
Yeah, one last question. Sexual and gender-based violence is like a pandemic in Liberia. How do you and your standard bearer intend to address that?
If especially I'm giving oversight over the Ministry of Gender, like he said, like Ms. Gono said rightly, when you are asked to, and I think I've been asked already to do X, Y, Z if this elections is over and we rise to the top. There are certain line ministries and agencies which also include the Ministry of Gender. It's important. How do we intend to tackle it? Like I always say, there are laws on our books. All we need to do is to follow the law. If we have to go through the House to pass more rigid law, especially on rape, we had a whole big campaign here with action against. I got a group called Life to the Community. I've done action against rape in rural parts and everywhere else. I have seen kids being abused many times. Even when we're taking the kids off the street, children slept in my house for nights, and most of them were abused. Most of them. So that's something that is my passion. That's my when it comes to children, it's my feelings. I can't stand, the children being mistreated. So we will fight to see if we can get more laws passed that'll be rigid than what it is, so that rapists can walk freely when babies have been abused.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Thank you, Madam Grace. Johnny? We're going to be going to the phone line after you. We'll take a few calls, please.
Okay, so thank you, Madam Vice President in waiting. So, I just wanted to get you, Madam, you are one of Liberia's most astute female leaders. And by coming to this position as Vice President come January 2024, what do you have as your inspiration for young Liberian women to prepare themselves to always stand up for this kind of cause, or even more than you? What do you bring to the table to encourage more young Liberian women, the young high school children, the young college students? What do you bring to the table for them? What do you do what do you have in mind as a Vice President to ensure that young women are encouraged to stand up to the call? That's my first question.
That last time I visited the ghetto, I met some beautiful young ladies. One of them was 25, and she said to me, Mrs. Kwan, don't waste your time. I was 15. I was 15 years old when I started my prostitution work in this prostitution camp. And so don't bother, and she left. When I went to Total Base, I met another young lady who was pregnant. And most time when they born these babies, we go take them and give them to people. And I said to her, why are you here? She said, bad crowd, bad friends, bad influence. My mother even came from the States to take me away, but she couldn't. And I said, have you been to the hospital? She said, no. And I said, if I give you money, you'll go, even though she said yes, but no, she won't go. What hurt me most is if you went to Portrait is a prostitution camp. They first little makeshift place with stuff like that. You don't want to see the kind of cuts, the coat suit and the vehicles that go to that place to abuse our young girls. Now, you can't be nice with that kind of situation. You have to be bossed to make sure that there are facilities. If you went to Bentor, there were a lot of structures President Torba erected. They either abandoned or finished, no roof. Those places could be transformed. Here is skills training program and encourage these young ladies. I've been in the ghetto many times. You don't do it with force. You talk to them. And when you can get them out and get them in those places, not just to be rehabilitated, but give them skills so that at the end of the day, they can come out to be somebody. For me, that's the work that I do. My record speaks about it very clearly. So it won't be anything hard. This is something I'm already doing. So we will definitely get involved to an extent to make sure if the resources are there. As a matter of fact, if the resources are there and they should be used for the purpose, that's my dream. And that's the new Liberia's dream.
Okay, so my second question is, you come from a background of a very strong religious family line. Your husband is a bishop. You serving as vice president, how will you bring about some level of religious tolerance to ensure Liberian people from different religious backgrounds will work together to have a nation-building process that will bring about a new level that you and Dr. Moniba and the rest of the team envisaged?
Well, our constitution calls for a secular state. So you don't stop anybody's religion or stop anybody from worshiping the way he wishes so, he chooses to. One thing I always say most time in Liberia, we just think it's only two religions here. No, but we have more than two. We have the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Baha'i, the Hare Krishna, the Songyo, the Unification, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Jehovah's Witnesses. And I can share this short with you. The last inaugural service, we were talking about having an interfaith service. I said, no, we are not having interfaith service because our interfaith service is not just only two religions. I would prefer when the Christian pray, the Muslim pray, the Hindu pray, the Baha'i pray, the Jehovah's Witness pray. So, but then when we leave from there, I said, that's a real interfaith service. If I'm a Christian, I will not put my belief on you if you don't want it. You can put your belief on me because I don't want it. Live as you are, live as you can, because that's what you believe. Nobody will tell me, say, oh, you have to go to a shrine when I know I can't go there. So I will keep the Constitution to the letter. If the Constitution says this is what we should do it. I mean, period. It doesn't change me from knowing Jesus and Him crucified.
So, Madam Vice President, my question actually is about how will religious leaders, what role will they play in this nation, in this new Liberia? What would be the role of religious leaders in this new Liberia?
The religious leader already got a role. The role is religious. So if you in your church, you play your church role. I'm in my church, I play my church role. You can't say I don't know where you actually driving to, except you tell me exactly what it is. But everybody has his distinct role. He plays his role. Here, go to church on Sunday.
Thank you.
Maybe a Bible study Wednesday and so forth. And the other people have their day. Allow them to have the day and do what they're supposed to do. Nobody stops anybody.
Thank you very much. You see, when you are the stand-up bearer for my party, if I have no question, I ask you this kind of question. So it's no, we will not blame Johnny for that. Johnny just needed to ask question. We're gonna go to the phone line and take 10 calls. We got Johnny still talking. Johnny, you got no question for the old man. Let the old man go sleep after the call, man. You got no question for the old man. You saying that you're wasting our time. What you do about religious holiday? Go to Seventh-day Advantage. The Oman will be your Jehovah's Witness. And let's move on. But Oman, thank you very much for joining us. It's good having you. Please accept but 10 questions from the folks, your Liberian people, our Liberian people. Then from there, we're going to end the show. Thank you very much. Chairman Byron?
See you. Should we take calls?
Yes, sir. 10.
Okay, 10 calls.
Can you put up the numbers, please?
All right. Let's go to the local lounge. This person, good evening.
Good evening.
What is your name and where do you call from?
I'm happy to be online and to the panelists and the guests. I'm Biro Achipapa. I'm happy to be on with you people.
Okay.
And I'm very admirer of Mr. Palmer here just shared. Fighting and the situations with me. He's a strong woman. I just admire her.
Okay.
God bless everybody.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Let me announce the numbers: 0777 1075 0555 1010 75. This is Spoon FM. Good evening.
Yes, this is Spoon.
Yes, you have 1 minute. What is your name and where do you call from?
Well, this is Samuel. Well, let me say thanks to Madam Grace Tee Kpa. I remember just a few months ago, she mobilized students in Mosorado and they went to endorse JND campaign for 2023 presidential election. But she has so much success. So because the students that she carries over, endorsement, has she got to them and say, I changed my mind, or the students stay with you, the party. So that would be a clarity.
All right. Thank you, my dear brother. Good evening. Hello. Yes. Good evening.
Thank you very much. And let me say good evening to the panel.
Okay.
My name is Kewu X, and I call in from Jacob Town around East Island.
Welcome, Seko.
Yeah, let me appreciate the still guest. I listened to her and she sounds quite eloquent, and she one of Liberia's emerging leaders. But I want to encourage you, Madam Pan, that if your party is not successful to the first round, theory, I encourage you to join the party that wishes the alternative to see your gravitation from private property destitution. And we will see Rescue 1 and 2 coming as the next president, vice president of Liberia. I will encourage you to do that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, walk away from your monitor, please.
Amen. Joseph Pako, conversation now, Fiamma,
We say, welcome, Pako.
Yeah, thank you so much. No, to my former superintendent, La Bientôt, my already made up. But for the former vice president, Jordan Nimabuaga, any call pay any Jones at any play, they call me at any play, and it's an Akumi at any play, great man, but one person doing it. Why Joseph Nimabuaga do not my Eddie? But the only one by the grace of God, you people will know between Eddie and Joseph Walker. Eddie went and paid the former father the money was stopped, so they contract the general store in local country.
Okay.
Eddie do all the things. But great man, you know, with us top. You are super what you say for the country. They own chat at Johnson Street. They protect you. That's yours. Own chat for Johnson Street. What you saying? They're so going to rest our chat.
Thank you. Thank you. We said 1 minute, so you have to stick in the time frame. This person. Good evening.
Yeah, my name is
Yes.
Well, I want to say she spoke very well. I think if the timing is not right for them, I think they are just a distraction to this election. But however, be it, the Liberian people are already made a decision. They're only waiting for October 10th to exercise that right. And that president of that Liberia will be announced. So we want to keep focused on our goals. We have the party of the team and the rescue mission to be focused. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Can you please walk away from your monitor, please? Good evening. Okay. Hello. Good evening, sir.
Hello? Just the last call.
Okay.
Thank you.
Walk away from your monitor.
While he walking away, let's walk away from you, and we'll bring him back on tomorrow. It's good having Madam Kwan on the show. Madam, thank you very much. As always, we appreciate you. You heard from your people. Can you please speak as you do your closing, man? All right. Hold on 1 minute. She's muted. Can you unmute, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
I was invited as the guest speaker at that program, and I said that it's not Ambassador Boyka who wants to be president for UP or Mr. Cummings who wants to be president for ANC. If we can have a collaboration, and I even sang the portion of the Lone Star ever that says, "In then forward sons of freedom march, defend your sacred heritage." We are trying to defend Liberia in that institution. I remember that. I even sang the song, so maybe he wasn't listening because the noise was plenty. So, Papa, that is there. The next one was if there is JMB wins or Cummings win. Look, we already won the Burger and Cummings ticket, so nobody should be asking a Burger win or Cummings win where we go. What we should be fighting for is to make sure that we change the seat of leadership in this country, and that should be our focus. And the Constitution gives the right to any Liberian at a particular age, either between 25 and 35. I need to verify that. It didn't say anything else. That's it. And lastly, I think that's the same question I asked two different ways. Our coming is not right. Well, the Constitution gave us the right, so I don't know what other right we need. And if we choose, everybody has a free mind. So we have chosen what we wanted, and this is where we are. I just pray and hope that we all go to the polls on that day and make sure that the lead person leadership is removed. That should be our focus. Oh, why were we coming? Other people came together, they didn't stay together. Everybody will not be friends. But at the end of the day, Liberia is one big country and will be one big family. And we wish to see you in the new Liberia.
Madam Grace Tee Kpa, my sister-in-law to Eugene Fagon, we say thank you very much. But before before you leave, Lord Scott he just want to make a few comments, please. Lord, you are live.
Thank you. Good evening, Liberia. Now, I just wanted to congratulate you for your performance tonight. But Spencer, I feel compelled to say one or two things. We have to go on the show tonight beating a woman down because she fought corruption. They call her a fighter. She likes fighting. But we just elected a Senator Darren Dillon because he promised just that. We re-elected him because he did just that. Because he fought what he called corruption. He fought against it. He was a loudmouth. He was a firebrand. And we applauded him. But when a woman stands up, we beat her and call her a fighter. We can't build Liberia or new Liberia. We can't move Liberia forward. It will continue these old decadent ways of suppressing strong women who want to move the country forward. We talked about a GAC report. A GAC report is a report done by auditors. It is not an indictment. The Justice Ministry did not indict anybody because she would not have walked away from it. So we got to be fair as we give the information out there to the public, not to intentionally distort the record. We had a vice president who presided over a body that was never audited. We need to be discussing that. We have a vice president who said his vehicle was parked. So if you want to discuss politics, let's discuss politics.
So the madam have to leave. If you want to join us on Spawn Talk, you would join us. But yeah, thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Sandra, doing our 1 minute comment.
No, we are not. Guys, listen, remember, we are not leaving. We'll have to excuse Madam Grace because we have to do our closing. I don't know why you guys can be jumping on me like that. Madam Grace, thank you very much.
Maybe she need to be here for the 2 hour closing.
No, that's not what we do from the Gonglo camp.
Oh, okay.
Please. Only Gonglo people can do that. Madam Grace, thank you very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you as always. We hope to see you again. Have a wonderful evening. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You guys sometimes you don't know how hard this thing is.
Gonglo always doing
my phone be going crazy, to tell you the truth. But it's good to have Madam Grace Kpa. Whether you agree with her or not, you support the Clarence Moneyback team. Want to say it's always good having that on. But we did justice today, not to jam the Honorable Grace Kpa because we're trying to bring in Edward Ford. We hope Edward Ford Dr. Ford can come in on his own time to discuss issue as you have heard on the show tonight. It will be very important, but we must respect the time and the season given to Madam Grace, and that which we do was right. To our listener, I saw my strong photo of writer. She said, "Oh, Stanton, I've discovered." She's also bring Honorable Ford. Yes, Emmy, we will bring him on, but not today. It was very important for us to keep him away. You decide what is right when you hear him next time. Dr. Richardson, a wonderful program. Gibson, like always. Abula, thank you. Johnny, I know you were quiet today because your VSB was on. Mipet Gono, we said thank you very much. Dr. Richardson, let's do the closing. You go first if you want, and then from there we'll wrap this thing up. 1 minute, guys, just 1 minute.
It was a great show. I really like. Okay, I really like Madam. Oops, there's echo coming out. Okay, thank you. I really like Madam Palm. She was firm, strong, lost Liberia, fought corruption. Had a good sense of humor. I really like her sense of humor. I would like to see her play a more maybe visible role in Liberia's politics in the future. I don't know what she's doing now, but I after being the superintendent of Monserrate County, so I wish that even if they win or don't win, that she should play a more visible role. I just want to remind Liberians to vote October 10th and for Mr. Alexander Cummings for Deserving Liberia. Thank you.
All right, I don't know who black man. I'm trying to unmute myself, but let's go to Gibson. Mr. Jerry, you in Liberia. You're gonna have a wonderful time because your travel was sponsored by Tewanze Konglo, my own papi, a very good man. Just bring us some of the goodies, and let us know how we can get to Tewanze Konglo. I hope he's taking good care of you. But do your closing, sir.
Well, I think so. Tomorrow, I might be going to Nima to go and visit Nima. As you know, my wife is a daughter of Nima, and all the Nima women are my wives. In fact, Madam Gonoye can, when I see her, she can oblige to the culture. So, but look, let me come back tomorrow on the 8th. Councillor Gonglo is going to be unveiling the VP candidate, Mr. Yagbawolo. Very, very energetic young man, very respected, educated, honest, good guy. Play a low profile, work for his people. I'm excited to meet him. I'm going to be carrying it live. I have all my equipment I brought with me, all my tripods and everything. I brought them to go live. And Stanton, if you have your boys, they want to go, they can go with me, and they don't have to worry about hotel. I can put them in a hotel too. So
I do not run the station. You got to ask Madam Titi, not me.
Yeah, okay. No, I can get to her. I intend to go there to talk to her anyways. Look, let me come back to this thing we have been discussing. The issue of audit report that Madam Gono raised is a very good one. I didn't go there, but the issue of Edward Ford was one of the things that hurt me at the time when it happened. When we attended Edward Ford's press conference trying to clarify that people try to set him up. It is very bad that you are in an opposition. You are talking to the friend of the president and you're discussing how you want to eat and the other people eat. How did you expect it to end up? So they did him justice. And there's something in journalism we call bad messenger. Well, not everywhere, maybe you're not in politics, you're not in everything, but bad messaging, bad messenger. You think your own character and you want to fight somebody so they can fall along with you. That's what Edward Ford is doing. I'll be glad to meet him here. And guys, I'm always straightforward. Somebody came here on our show and I tell the president, you are bad candidate. My people in Grand will never vote for you. And tonight I tell Madam, but I feel for her a little bit. I think there are other part of her that she need to work on. But Edward 14, they're not working. Edward 4 is fighting very hard, but it's not working. And she's now our competitor. As far as we're concerned, we are all in the opposition, but we are looking at bringing George Weah down. So we're not coming to, try and undo her. But, if we want to talk about people like Eugene Fagon, who get 4 associate degree, people like that when he talking.
I mean, Eugene is not here. You're trying to do this thing again.
Oh, he's not here? He gone? Oh, I didn't know he gone. I didn't know.
The woman told, Madam Grace told Eugene to leave, and he left.
But hey, look, man, thank you very much. The show, like I said, to everyone, my coming on the show here is, I'm a media person. I make rules in my own newsroom. If you don't obey it, I throw you out. So myself, when I come to other people's entity, I respect their rules. Okay, so but if there's anything that we can do to further enhance the productivity, and that's what make the play good. Sometimes
so you can talk about your man Lami like move on.
Oh, you knew that where I'm coming here.
You're trying to squeeze Lami in here.
That guy's a smart guy. He knew I'm coming to Lami.
I beg you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to her. Let leave the guy alone. Lami is on the show. Lami will be here tomorrow.
Good
Let's
show.
move on.
Good show.
Stand on like you're too smart. Let me come on mute.
Good show. Good interaction. I actually like the interspersing of the serious issue with the joke and comedy and stuff like that. I really like that component of the show, and we think we can continue like that. One compliment for Grace Tee Kpa and very serious disappointment in her response to 2 questions. The compliment is I saw in her, and she expressed her continuous commitment to changing the George Weah government. She expressed that. She said, we are opposition. Our motive, our agenda is to change this regime. I compliment her for that, and we look forward to seeing her in the second round. My disappointment is, and this goes to most of the presidential candidates who want to be president, they say flowery things that they know nothing about. I asked Grace Tee about how do you address this issue about debt? And the first place she's running is talking about how she will cancel and review concession. Do you know the monetary legal implication of reviewing concessions arbitrarily? These concessions are contracts. Show me which government in Liberia, even the presidential government, that came and just took concessions and reviewed them or canceled them. There are severe international, local, financial, monetary, and reputational consequences. That's not how you address debt issues. But because they don't know, so they just find anything to say.
But let me help you. I know you're doing your closing, Abula. What's the first thing she said? They will review. Is it a crime to review them?
So now this is the point I'm coming to. I'm saying you do not just review concessions. Concessions are reviewed by timeline enacted by law. So you don't just become president and say you're not satisfied with concessions, so you want to review it.
Is that what she said? Did she say she's not they are not satisfied, they will just review it?
She said
you want her to go more in details, knowing that we'll have limited time to. What can't you give her the benefit that they will review and later on proceed as to what the action may be?
So my point is, addressing debt issues, addressing concession issues is not to recommend a review of concessions, because the review of concession is already enacted in the concession law. On when it will be reviewed is already enacted by law. So that cannot be your proposal to address debt issues or to address concession issues, because it's already enacted. It's a law.
The government can review. The government can review the concession not by calling on the company. They can have internal review by the new government. It doesn't mean that you're going to call on the company to say, "Oh, bring back your agreement. We got to review. We got to make changes, put amendment." No, but internally they can do that, and I think that's what Grace was talking about.
I don't know about any internal. There is no internal review.
When you take over as a government, you just allow a settlement to fly, or you will call your group and say, "Listen, check them out." When you take over, you will say, Western Cluster, check them out. Internally, you're allowed to do that. Don't you think so? The government have the documents, though.
So government has a document. The document is a law. I'm saying solutions to addressing debt issues, solutions to addressing concession issues is not to review concessions. There are consequences for election. And when you elect people, they make decisions. Those decisions are binding. If you attempt to arbitrarily change those decisions, then you have financial, monetary, and other consequences. My second disappointment was, and I conclude on this, Grace Tee said when she's vice president and the president tried to do things, she will resign. I think she sang a song. But she was superintendent fighting people for more than 3 years. They fighting her into corruption, beating her and knocking her down. She couldn't resign. And she wants us to believe that when she's vice president, when she sees corruption, she will just resign.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Johnny. Your one question, the member will go home. Thank you very much, the young Abula. And by the way, I should tell you this, though, Councilor Tewon, he praised you a lot. And he said you're a good young man. And he wanted me to tell you this when I spoke to him. I'm not saying it because I feel like he prefer you than Aaron Gibson. He prefer you than Aaron Cassidy. He prefer you than Aaron Cassidy policy Lamin Pako, who will be on the show tomorrow.
Except my one disappointment. Ahead, my one disappointment with him is that he didn't introduce himself as a former sedition when he did that yesterday. So that's my one.
But the show not about me. If you want to know more about me, we can talk more. There's a whole lot about me. There's a whole book.
That Fadiga pull it, man. Let's move on. Tomorrow we do that one. Johnny, let's keep you for last, man. Johnny, you got nothing to say, man. Maybe keep this on 1 minute, man. I beg you. I gotta go. Yeah, I beg you, but do it 1 minute, please. You are muted, though. You are muted, man. Can you unmute?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know that comment they post say I come in peace. I come in peace. So I heard Jerry lecturing here. By the time they say Melpe, keep this thing on 1 minute. That's fine. I will try to. But again, before I conclude my thoughts, I just always like to be so grateful for the platform you provide here. Thank you for the valuable time for you and Dr. Richardson and all of the panelists that come out here to help our people understand what's going on. It was a good show. Like we say, we wish Madam Kwan the best. And I heard my own brother, Lord Scott, calling to help her out. But the reality is, and I will go back to, let me leave law and go back to my big brother here, Gibson. I hear you say they almost spoke to the confidant of the president. Hey, Lord, you know, they say when you go to funeral, they say they may get plenty of children, or they may was suffering like they don't talk it too hard before the children to start explaining what they're buying do. You see, there's something hard to make everyone feel comfortable to talk to the confidant of the president. Don't to not be fooled. So we don't know who was used as a scapegoat there. And you know, my closing disappointment, she said she was fighting 103 men in the House of Representatives. I don't know if she implying that the entire House were all men and that all of them were corrupt. So when you see people are closing and they were saying these things that don't add up, then we try to ask about how authentic they are, because the House have more women and they have a lot of women. And I don't think all of them were corrupt. But let me tell you this. The audit report, there were some people who served government and GSC did not audit them and have a report indicting them, even though they have not gone to court to be tried. If I am coming into the limelight for public office as high as that, I will make sure GSC has nothing on me. It is disappointing. We will not allow people to dismiss the GSC like that, because the CDC could do it tomorrow. Other officials of alien government that were indicted can all say the same thing. Will it be okay with the people of Liberia? Nope. I think we need to hold people by the standards that they need to be held. I mean, Honorable Money, but I don't think there's anything GSC has on him. Fine young man, you know, intellectually, he's well learned. I don't think this is his time, but he's a learned fellow, and he's someone that I don't think he served with any issues there at the GSC. But this is running mate, has serious baggage at the GSC, serious temperament issue. The horse voted, which means to take you to South Beach, and 1, 2, 3, error 4, and 2, 3 people not happy with you, nope. So these are issues that I'm really disappointed. I'm not very impressed about what Kennedy say. And I know the people of Liberia will reject it in this election. You're going to see people ultimately performing 0.005%, low fast 0.00.
Thank you.
You will see those things. But thank you again for the nice show. Dr. Richardson, thank you for having me as well. It's always a good thing to be on here with you guys. Mr. Mambe, I tell you, I like your energy. I know Gonglo brings some good people. I left and what the other man name, man?
No, Councilor Policy. Councilor Policy.
Councilor Policy. I also like Mami. You know, I like Mami a lot, of course.
But you like Johnny. Johnny looking at you. You don't like him too.
A lot of people don't like me, Madam Gono.
Big brother Casey, enjoy your time in Nima, our husband. Enjoy your time. All right.
Johnny, take us home now, Johnny. Take us home, please. We're not hearing you, sir.
You muted.
All right, while Johnny remain muted, we want to say thank you very much for joining us today. Tomorrow we'll be here again with a wonderful conversation. Till we meet again, may God bless you. May God keep you. Sorry that we couldn't hear Johnny. Our time is up, and we want to say, Johnny, you will start the show tomorrow, okay? Thank you very much, folks. It's always good having you. May God bless you. God bless our country. Love and peace to Liberia. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, this is how I love to take leave of you. The invitation is yours to join us.
It's your birthday. Yes, I'm a special one from the CEO, stand home with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band.